through.
Absolutely, here we go, getting started right now already then. Good job here by sept making their way through. Pushing Kyren already to this corner then. They have a throw to that card set up here. The first overhead has hit. And immediately into super. Built up that meter, going through the wall. Positive bonus to start rolling in. And I'm kind of curious how the feeling is going to be with this new patch change. Now breaking that wall, getting into positive bonus with super. You're going to feel that meter penalty from the spend. You know, sept barely got any meter back despite putting them through.
Kyren is already trying to charge in, getting some block strings, trying to get shock state. Trying to pop the super, but sept just jumps over it and starts a block string of their own, trying to create some pressure with this misfinder. Finds the flip with the RRC, and Kyren, oh wait, has to go for a counter, but still gets the kill.
sept there keeping the pressure on when they got Kyren back into that corner here, but we are seeing a little bit new action with that new Kai activation of that fireball. Definitely keeps it, at least, you know, not too much to worry about when they have it at the full screen, but there is the problem, I guess we would say, with that new move, Kai being incredibly minus on activation, so, you know, push away the corner here again. No stick quite yet, though. And there's ripping the super, then fighting out, spending that 50, not letting any of that Kai pressure keep you stuck in that corner.
And then immediately jumping in for a throw and setting up a card for a potential other misfinder, still creating a lot of pressure on Kyren right now. Going to be finding the flip and going to be able to secure the wall break with the super, of course, getting that hard knockdown. Going to be very good situation for sept coming out here, while Kyren only has one more shot, so close to 1 bar attention. Gonna have it, maybe pop it in YRC if we got a good situation here. Oh, we don't.
Just taking that 6P for the far slash poke attempt off of that Nsenga there, but really, really good stuff. That it feels like sept just has such a strong level of offense, and, you know, piloting this Johnny character very, very well. Johnny, a character that kind of fell off a lot of people's radars in the last patch, losing a lot of the strength that made him essentially the top tier character that he once was. I think a lot of folks would still say that Johnny was good, but definitely a bit of a shell of what he once was. And a lot of these new tricks that Johnny has up his sleeve surely will be coming out here as well. Curious to see any of these cross-up options he has new access to, but so far going into game 2 here so far, Kyren started there, had to spend that burst first though. That corner as well, then burst immediately back from sept as well, just trying to keep Kyren locked down. Now he's trying to play any defense and sending out the sliding low. Not get a full punish though.
For the stun dipper again, gotta activate fireball into DP from it, going full screen from the left to the right, but just air dashes out of the way and gonna be able to throw Kyren into the corner. Very good way of sept getting out of there, waiting a little bit, getting jabbed, but again, no strong connections coming out from Kyren. One misfinder going to secure the super wall break.
Trick here again, hard knockdown, got 50 to work with that, so you gotta watch out for the mix and the high-low. You were absolutely guessing. Flipping that coin. Is it heads? Is it tails? Kyren has got a chance to answer before that round. Once again, going towards sept's way. And Kyren definitely showing a little bit of signs of getting that pressure going, but sept making a lot of good choices on defense, as well as Kyren kind of giving up some space at a certain point. Good jump over on that misfinder here. Great punish as well. That corner, that FRC after that. Sliding low, gets that 5P anti-air, putting sept through that wall, but back to neutral here again. There's the overhead.
Being able to get another misfinder, secure the wall break again, not having any tension to pop super, but it's fine. Still gonna be able to secure wall break in the positive tension, but you tried to kick. Nice BRC confirm into super. Gonna be riding it all the way to the corner and trying to find another poke, but we're just backing up too much, but maybe not.
Yeah, a little bit worried there. Had to spend 100 to get that sequence for Kyren at this point. Hoping here you can at least get the burst out if you are Kyren going into potentially a third round, but right now sept answer back so far. Damage definitely raking in. A good throw on the second fall attempt here. Kyren answering back with a round to themselves. Getting to round 3 already. Definitely impressive stuff, but here we go. Fresh round. Both players trying to play a bit of that mid-range game plan here. Being pushed out. Good 2K into that 2D check. Push Kyren away to this card again. There's the pop. Oh, but the close slash gonna get hit.
There we go. Nice air confirm, getting a nice combo there and being able to use that new pillar to shock out sept, but sept still going to be able to run in, create a block string. Nice, but still, again, you're a little minus there. You were still holding your fist, and Johnny's going to be able to act on you, get the super wall break, get the hard knockdown, get that nice positive tension as they're still rushing in, finding another kick, and gonna confirm for another game. So close, 1 HP, come on! Oh!
Back throw incident here into the Dragon install. This functionality is so dang strong. Bullet has been Goldburst already. Goldburst now a little bit easier to get out. That's what you're looking for with the new changes to it. There's an SCB option here from Kyren, trying to stop this Johnny pressure from going through. Any one hit could potentially do it. FTs are coming out, and 6B's the other side of the JS. As a Biken player, I've seen that very often. Cannot say I've seen that against the Kai there. Really good stuff. Sept holding it together despite Kyren trying to do a little bit of the protagonist install buff, but wasn't quite enough. Currently 2-0 for Sept. Just one more game will help them move forward here. Let's see if Kyren can look inward, dig deep, and bring us potentially a reverse sweep.
It'll be a matter of time to see if Kyren can really lock it in and find that reverse sweep, and it all matters on the round start. Immediately dashing in, try to set up that dash block again, but gonna already have to spend the burst. Gonna get hit on the low and continue to get hit in the air too. Nice anti-air coming out from Sept as we go from the left, from the right, from the west to the east, and then confirmed for the super.
Built that meter up already, not even 13 seconds into this match, and Sept's already in such a good spot as well. Get that knockdown here, get 2K2D, should connect with the Dragon install, it does. We get that hard knockdown. Your team media here again, and look at the space Dragon install Kai is able to do. Be able to run on that fireball so fast as well again. This is incredibly spooky to be here again. Where will it end? And the pressing here, all close up to catch, maybe some jump frames here. Oh, I don't think connect with the Sacred Edge as well. There's a hard knockdown. It did not actually. We spent the 50. We're not even a hard knockdown in plus. If Sept can finish this route, will the burst come out here from Kyren? It is not. And just like that, Sept is going to find themselves on set point.
Absolutely insane how much they paid the price at the fact that the super fireball did not connect before the regular one did. Not stopping Kyren though, getting a throw, trying to create some block string pressure in order to make their way in, finding a counter hit, getting bursted out of, but the stun dipper goes for the card, no follow-up on the RC, and still trying to find a way to continue this shock state on Sept, but so far, Sept using their mid-range in order to poke Kyren out, and the burst finally coming out here.
Still definitely go either way. Great DP then stop Sept after again. Oh, a bit of a shimmy attempt here, but no full reward on it. 2P to at least check Kyren on that approach, but a couple of the buttons are just rearing out at this point in. There with the flip again. There is the overhead, high-low. When will it end? But the card is set. Good for the guard crush. Good reversal throw here from Kyren. Is absolutely there attempted. And that is the I think you're a good player mix. That 5D FRC into the low. Instant overhead, which combos off of the shockwave. Doesn't get the wall stick as well. Kyren trying their best. And uh-oh, this feels like a situation of old right now. Reversal throw is going to actually do it. Keep Kyren in the set and a round apiece here. Getting round 3 in this game 3. Back and forth, MM.
Dude, that P was so close. That throw keeps clutching up right again there for Kyren, popping it over and over to get out of a bad situation against Sept. This time around, throw break, Sept is starting to adapt to Kyren's game, learning that the throw is really what keeps taking them down. Dashing in another throw break. You saw there, I imagine Kyren tried to go for another one, but still gets the pressure out here, trying to find 2K2D, still gets misfindered, trying to find another way in. Nice PRC and forces the burst to come out of Kyren, and gonna be finding another opening too. We're already going to the messed up there. We're not going to the wall break with this one, but we're still gonna block the stun dipper. We got a bar of tension, and with that, we're definitely popping the super here in order to confirm on Kyren. And will this kill? Yes, it will. Family quarrel, grandfather versus granddaughter coming out here as we're just gonna be rocking the intros. Actually, no, we're not rocking the intros. We're going straight to the round start, and immediately, gonna pop the burst immediately on that air-to-air, try to find a way in, but has to just rely on that DP and these jump-ins.
Here again with the jump out. That JH is so deceptive in the hitbox option here. Oh, does not really get the wall stick then off of that 2K pickup. A good trade combo actually here by Caliber, putting Idol here through that wall. Bit of a set to neutral here again. Playing that BRC just keep themselves safe. They don't want to take of any of this nonsense. Get that hard knockdown off the sliding gun dipper here again. A little FRC keeps the sequence going here, and what a fast round. We still got quick rounds here in Guilty Gear Strive 2.0. Going into that second sequence here again. Both players gonna have to find who's gonna get that first gambit to work in their favor right now. And so far it's been all Caliber, but there's that new hard knockdown off of the overhead so far. Doing a lot of good work here for Caliber.
Looks like Eido trying to get back in. Nice DP coming out there from Caliber. Still continuing to space out and find these DPs. Going to be able to bait out the burst. Got to be careful when you're popping that on these DPs. And the throw whiff is going to maybe seal the life off of Eido because they are on a hair. And with another air-to-air connection, Caliber is just going to be able to lock in that first game.
Man, I love Unika JK. Tiny little button. Functionality through the roof here. You know, incredibly quick, decently active, then hits on both sides, so definitely capable of doing some left to right shenanigans as well. So good example there, and great routing too. I'm very curious how Unika's routing will kind of develop now that she kind of has access technically to a command normal in 6H. The range is a little bit like it's not super distant, so like a distance space like 5K, landing 5K might not always connect into it there. So I'm kind of curious how the routes will end up being, but just a few here as we check on our players just to make sure that the connection is a-okay for everyone involved. But yeah, definitely off to a pretty explosive start so far. It was pretty much a Unika sweep there for most of those interactions as well, but definitely I'm sure Eido has it in them to be able to adjust with this character. But like I said before, I mean, we are in a brand new version of Guilty Gear Strive in so many aspects, so definitely excited to see how our players have been crunching, you know, with, you know, only, like I said, like a day or so in the new patch.
You know, we've really only had about a day or so for the true grinders, a day and a half if they were staying up or woke up just to get on when the servers went live around like 5 to 6 a.m. EST over here. But either way, going to be getting straight into the second game, seeing how Eido is going to navigate neutral this time, immediately getting air to out and trying to jump over, finally finding that bandit bringer and going to be going to the corner for the throw.
Again, good strike throw so far, keeping here. JH then actually potentially caught there by that JH jump in. Another DP being sent here again. Both players try to keep this sequence here going. Good job, Eido keeping that route here. Push that corner. Oh, does not get the hit enough to do the activation from Sidewinder. There is the burst out from Caliber, pushing Eido back into this corner, keeping them locked down. And this is the Unika RPS sequence here. Gino jump out, great jump out into that falling JS, but no full pickup here. YRC immediately spent by Caliber, just trying to keep Eido on this defense.
And jump in right now, playing safe with some IADs, trying to just backdash on the bandit bringer. Meanwhile, Eido is trying to find a safe way in order to continue this pressure and secure the kill on Caliber. We're starting to get into danger. You got to move in soon, and the Gun Dipper gonna help you out with that. Eido getting back in danger. You got to move in on Caliber, and because you were playing a little bit too skittish, Caliber gonna be able to lock you into the corner and get a nice wall break.
Positive coming through here again. Eido just running up and sending out that DP here again. Oh, a bit of a on the burst, but actually whiffs up the super, does not connect there through the gun flame. It's gonna allow Eido here to take this first round of game 2.
I already know Eido's heart is pumping from finding that confirm on the whiff super, but now Caliber is still stuck in your face. Have to finish the job, and already finding the Gun Dipper in order to secure wall break in the first 8 seconds, and finding more connections on this far range neutral. Gonna be able to DP you into the wall and going to find another wall break. So close to a perfect here for Caliber, but as I said that, I kind of jinxed it.
We all get a few caster curse jinxes here. Wouldn't be commentating without some then, but great answer back here by Caliber. Put us into a round 3 here again, but this sequence from Unika still has access to allow us wondering what they were going to do with Guard Crush, and always a little bit of retooling of some characters' moves. Guard Crush still has a lot of strong capabilities here in Strive in the current version in 2.0, so seeing access there with that projectile Guard Crush. Good air DP actually stops the attempt from Caliber to be able to jump up, and there's that new buff to Gunflame. Not only is it faster, but it goes a little bit further as well here. Here, Biodo gets back to more of a neutral state again. Both players trying to find their opening here. Hopefully the connection here is still holding strong for both players to be able to maneuver around. So hard to play neutral in a game when you can't quite figure out where your opponent truly is here again. There's that knockdown here. Actually gonna OTG. That's a new option that you kind of run into now with Unika with that 6H. It has the ability to actually mess up the setup with that empowered beam.
Still trying to find a way to jump in. It's a bit of a, oh, the DP whiffing. Yeah, that's kind of writing your name on the gravestone.
Access to that vortex then for a little bit of a longer, low profile option, but not to scoff at what Unika has in that gun dipper low here. But we are all game 3 coming up right now. Both players then kind of taking more of a passive approach then too, but going to be Eido getting the first big hit, pushing Caliber all the way to this corner here again. Oh, good back push actually into the DP as well. Caliber absolutely ready with a good 2K into that throw then. Oh, a bit of a whip on the pickup potentially after maybe an OTG with the 2H attempt, but get that safe gun dipper immediately after. Good. I'd send another one into the RC and push it to that corner. Oh, not get the 5H pickup though, but keeping Eido in this corner.
Nice PRC, does not get out of the way of the gun dipper. Still gonna find that DP and try to bandit bring it home, but the DP still catches Eido as they're running in, trying to run in now at full screen. And again, that bandit bringer just stopping a little bit short of Caliber. Gonna be able to survive that, but finally finding an RRC confirmed. Not finding the sidewinder there. The trajectory after the Viper was just not good enough, and we're just gonna be popping a super in order to confirm Eido's death.
Yeah, definitely seeing a little bit of a drop there. But that's, new tool to work with now. Soul kind of losing access to, those clean hit HDPs and essentially a trade-off of getting access to this new special move option. But good bait on the DP here this time. Big Death going through. Yeah, you're going to have to burst up your Caliber, trying to keep yourselves at least in this round right now to help ours activate to go by. But there's that JH clipping out. Eido on that jump and immediate burst out. Not trying to play any defense right now. Listen to the corner here. Stage save signs with that JH option. Good check it through with the Mega Death Buster.
Oh, already running it down, getting a little bit of positive tension right now as they have to continue the aggression onto Eido. Eido on their last legs right now. Another solid hit coming through from Caliber. Can't continue it, but baits the DP by just back walking. And there we go. Caliber going to be locking it down and securing a 3-0.
Exclamation point match Reno to claim some codes here, but here we go. Eno versus Giovanna in 2.0. Giovanna, a character that essentially didn't get like the most insane changes outside of what people would call there, but like not really getting nerfed in a lot of ways there. So kind of end up being a big winner. A little bit access to better RPS options as well. A little better use of that anti-air tool in the 623S, but curious to see how Eno will look as well in this version. Everyone was terrified of this character towards the end of the last version then with how good she was at taking advantage of that red wall assault. But so far, Sphinx off to an incredibly good start here in this first game.
Having a very solid perfect coming out at the start, being able to dash it with that 5K, being able to set up some of these kicks, going into the corner, try to drill kick her way into a throw. Really nice strike throw coming out there from Sphinx. Going to be able to find an air throw too, find the 5D, and that's already the first game.
Definitely a character not really allowed to be wrong too often, or she'll definitely be feeling it. But Sphinx just felt like they were in like control the entire time. I think maybe a hit or two came out in the favor of Scooby there, but you just kind of saw that Sphinx kind of kept the pressure on, kept you boxed in. Geo incredibly good at making you kind of tremble sometimes, and that wrong press or potentially holding up as well might be the end of that round for you. But here we go, gonna get into game 2 right away then. See how these players will adjust then from that first one. So far, both players kind of waiting a little bit more at the round start then. There's that chemical look here again as well. Media burst then from Emo, trying to keep Sphinx locked in. Well, all that work just gets put in the corner then, but actually Sphinx put himself back in the corner here, but a back throw once again. A bit of a trading of the corner, a little bit of dance partners going on right now. There's that classic OTG option here. There's a press out here by EmoScoobyDoo. Looking to go through the wall. Choose not to actually break off it here. Not be enough to quite kill.
Throw after throw after throw. Sphinx keeps finding these, and EmoScoobyDoo gonna have to find a way in order to call them out. Nice dash 2P drill kick, trying to maybe wait out a button, but there we go. Gonna have to pop the burst for Sphinx as EmoScoobyDoo just gonna be running straight into their demise here. We do got a bar of tension. We might try to get the super wall break, but not before a YRC comes out from EmoScoobyDoo. But you just run in with that 5K to confirm.
Big 5H damage there going through that wall. Gonna get that positive starting to roll in here. not quite dealing that you're seeing right now, that change. And I'm so curious there. In the version of old, Sphinx would have had meter to RC after that 5D hit, but just that kind of feeling we've been so used to when putting people through the wall, and you're kind of at that like 70-ish% there. Usually by the time you do your first thing after the wall break, that that meal penalty wasn't really affecting you anymore with positive rolling in, but that is now gone. That is no longer a factor in the game right now. So even though positive is there, you get the kind of passive benefits, then the meter is not moving with you. But Sphinx so far still kind of maintaining that control and that pressure here. We're ready to get into our third game right now. Let's see if EmoScoobyDoo can kind of lock in, find the right knockdown they need, and put you in that Eno blender.
Okay, really nice solid little trade coming out there, and immediately going to be able to air dash into a jumping confirm, forcing the burst coming out from Sphinx and finding a fireball in there. Feels like EmoScoobyDoo starting to have a little bit of more of a feel for how they want to play this, finding the punch into a nice other combo, and now trying to find the low, but still getting hit by that 2D and going to have to take some more damage from Sphinx as they're trying to find another poke with that 5K, going into another BMB, has a bar of tension to confirm at the wall, and just gonna be going into the throw. RRC for your death.
Absolutely, and that new like essentially GODP hits so high now. It is crazy the aerial reach this button has compared to what it was at before. A little bit good left right there into that low. Another empty low here again by Emo. Emo's starting to kind of cook right now then. And this is very much the Eno character kit as well. Like, she can definitely start snowballing pretty crazy if you can kind of stop her or call out some of the fake stuff then again. But good 6P, get Emo back to this corner here. Enhanced drill is going to actually clip then. Not going to choose to break the wall with a super, so we're going to keep that 50 for the buff for Geo. Geo kind of got a bit of a change when it came to her passive as well right now, essentially with that meter timing no longer being a static buff for as long as you have the meter. Essentially, once you encroach it and go past, it's like a set timer that it lasts for now, so you can even spend the meter and still have access to it for a little bit then. But Emo there doing a great job here in this game for keeping themselves in it, getting us to a third round right now. Good mash out.
He's going to be able to find another way in. Nice burst coming out there from Sphinx. Feels like Emo's starting to get a feel for themselves again. As I said before, going to be able to hit you low and going to confirm into a wall break there. There we go. Building a lot of damage during it too. And going to be popping a super in order to get a little positive tension. And of course, that nice hard knockdown. Nice deflect though coming through from Sphinx. And going to be able to carry this momentum. The drill kick gets blocked. Nice deflect coming out there from EmoScoobyDoo. But you still get hit, and the momentum and the throw too strong with that RRC. You are as good as dead.
Definitely kind of fell off inconsistent player bases, so let's see if Ruffian can show us some good mix options here again. But if you have watched online brackets, you should be very familiar with Insert and the absolute pain that they can bring on this May.
Never forget a May mirror. I commentated on Elphelt between them and totsubunger. Never forget how many clashes. But yes, very familiar with the Insert name. Already trying to dive in here. Going to be able to find the Dolphin on Ruffian and trying to continue this combo. Going to drop it. Going to flip on the other side for a throw. And if we can throw confirm, just a little too far for that. Just going to have to play it safe now and find the Dolphin in. But still, Ruffian trying to find their way in on 1 HP and a dream. Can't get touched by anything, but the anchor still hits.
Absolutely. Far/Slash going to connect there. Seal out that first round here for Insert, but going into our second round right now, Lash eventually could use this time. The set is not over until you've lost your third game, so all these can potentially be just learning rounds, information rounds here. Oh man, but that simple jump in H here gonna get let. He keeps going. Lash didn't immediately have to spend that burst, keep themselves in this round, in this first game so far. But Insert is absolutely moving around on this May right now. It'd be a little hard to keep themselves locked down again, but here's second with this Dolphin RPS. Just misses out on that 2S with that 5K calling it, but the wake up Orca gonna stop at the Johnny option, then off that overhead. Fighting back for Lash right now, 100 meter to work with.
right? Gonna try to find a flip in. Nice punch in order to stop Mr. Dolphin from getting in. Gonna find the misfiner and carry that momentum to the corner. Has 2 bars of tension. Gonna find the low into the misfiner in order to trade on the rounds. Going to round 3, both of them, you know, getting a solid understanding. As you said, Yanni, I'm gonna be able to kind of learn how each other is playing. And now this 3rd round is gonna be deciding the game. And already Ruffian gonna be getting out of a bad situation.
There's actually that new Dolphin as well. Good FRC on that J overhead here. Is able to connect and keep the combo going then. Good 2K to at least fight off from this point. But now Insert stuck in this corner here. So it's actually the burst. Spent it on the deflect shield. Not to go there. Oh, actually missed out on the TK finder, but actually work out in their favor. Gonna put Insert through the wall. And despite it being all Insert in the first part of this game, it's Ruffian who actually is able to seal the deal there with a bit of a drop opportunity going in their favor then, and the game 1 going their way.
There we go. Ruffian going to be able to lock it down for the first game, getting some really nice corner pressure and keeping Insert in there for a while. Going to see how Insert is going to be adapting after the fact as they get into this next game.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't really seen too many interactions from the Johnny side of what kind of has changed. I saw a lot of new aspects of that change as Dolphin there for Mei. As I mentioned, Mei also did get her 3K nerfed in regards to scaling here. But a lot of these, like, you know, essentially sliding low buttons then did get a pretty universal nerf on the damage for the sequence then. But good Insenga here by Ruffian. Gonna go ahead and flip out. Insert on the option here again. Oh, actually gets underneath that 5H there. But a burst out here from Ruffian. They're going to keep say Insert stuck in there, but another actually Insenga to kick them out of the sky, stopping them from jumping at all, but not even enough. The package going to get caught by the close slash there. Wasn't enough to be able to confirm and take it, but a good throw to keep it going here again. Back to the beginning sequence as well. Seeing Ruffian kind of taking a little bit of space on the way back here, and kind of that new extra change of that kind of old crumple effect here. May not getting access to the same option for command grabbing after anymore, but having to go with a lot of these like low pokes as the RPS choice post hit. There we go here again, gonna hit that 5K into the sliding here, put Ruffian into this corner, but immediate burst coming back here again, but the situation is so dire, not a lot of health to work with. No meter here from Insert side. Match that with that 5P low, but the reversal throw puts you back in that corner. This would be your chance to get themselves out. Runs right into that 5P, and Insert answering back and putting the game up for themselves.
Whew. All right, there we go. Insert going to be able to tie up the score right now, 1-1, and going to be able to kind of say, all right, going to be tying it up. This is going to be the first time in our stream tonight that we're going to be having a bit of contention, and of course, going to be having a game 4 on the board. So going to be seeing if Insert is going to be able to lock it down, or if Ruffian is going to be able to bring it back.
I'm just very excited for like the first, like, you know, month and change or two for sure of the online competitive space. I feel like so often you can watch a lot of these online brackets, kind of have a good idea maybe who's going to end up winning the set. Not saying players can't dig deeper, find new ways to beat out on their other competitors then, but so often we get used to the version of the game we were seeing right now. I'm curious to see how players like these two shake up as the new patch goes on. Insert going to try to their best to fight out them, but a good answer with that 6P. Get that hard knockdown off that low finer here. Bigger buttons here again. That 5H change pushing you a little bit farther out then from the previous version. But there is that 5D RC. Try to keep it burst safe as possible, putting you through that wall here. Not going to get the burst out of Ruffian so far. Oh, trying to actually use the advancement of the Insenga to get that throw after. Didn't quite connect. Still gets the round in their favor. Ruffian up here in game 3.
An immediate neutral win coming out there for Ruffian, already putting Insert into the corner, finding with the low misfiner, and already securing that wall break and a bar of tension. Going to be able to walk back from that confirm and going to be able to get another solid combo and Insert before the burst comes out. RC back from the block, going to be able to find another hit in, and very quickly, Ruffian takes a game with a perfect.
what a sequence. I love that after that RC there. I'm kind of curious. I'm like, what are you looking to do? But being able to get the air dash into the hold stance overhead definitely kept Insert guessing of they're going to try to land, maybe look for a 2D poke, potentially just land into the, low finer option, but keeping themselves in the air, gets that overhead and confirms it out to get that game. Now Ruffian find themselves up to, or I should say on 2 games right now. One more game will allow them to move forward in the winner's side here, and sending Insert down to the lower side definitely be quite a surprise to see. But this is definitely the early stages of a new patch. Potentially be a brand new victor, a non-Geekly winner could be your champion tonight, but let's see how the rest of the bracket shakes up right now. While Ruffian going to get Insert pushed all the way to this corner here. Card is set out then, but a good ID out attempt, and so going to get caught then by this low, and this low finer is doing so much right now for Ruffian here. Throws May out of this one, put it back in the corner. 100-meter to work with as well. Kind of being a little too hard on the burst here right now. Oh, and it kept it first because the May close slash. What a disaster. Baiting into having to spend your own burst and still going through the wall with that little elf.
Low again, nice PRC, but you PRC'd straight into Mr. Dolphin as Insert's just going to be hopping in order to confirm the KO on you, and now you don't have burst at the ready, gonna have to play a little bit patient, and now those JPs just flying in, trying to continue the pressure. Nice trying to find that jump, but not going to be able to get stuff for long.
Trying to send another Nsenga out there in neutral, see if they clip out on the approach attempt here from Insert. Not been able to connect them, but still good sequence go for Ruffian. Gonna get themselves hit for their words. Push back to that corner here. Try to backdash in that corner. Gets caught out by the close slash. And kind of that delayed jump out into the falling K. Not enough to combo. At least stops Insert from their pressure. Ooh, a bit of a 2H whip. I'm sure they were looking maybe for a Dolphin cancel, but did not quite get it. There was a change to charge moves then, but charge should essentially be easier right now in this version of Strive. They lowered the amount of time that you need to be able to do it. Head push this corner here as well. 5H going to clip them out, put them through that wall here, and another round apiece. Go into round 3 here in our game 4.
Going to be set point versus survival point right now. Insert gonna have to lock in if they want to get that game 5. Meanwhile, gonna be finding a nice anti-air into a flip from Ruffian, trying to go for it again, finding that 6P, gonna be able to get a lot of pressure started onto Insert, and another card gonna be allowing us to get in with this BRC, set up another one for a potential misfiner. They weren't watching out for it, so they're wall breaking.
Yeah, that BRC setup giving an option to get a mini close slash into the guaranteed card. Good burst out here from Insert to potentially fight the way out of it, but it's not going to be enough. Ruffian keeps it rounded and keeps it solid. Going to take it 3-1 over Insert on the May.
Either way, going to be seeing Ruffian moving on to the winner's side and Insert moving on to the loser side of top 24, but we're getting straight into it here.
Absolutely, we have Dark Magician Girl on that Asuka. Asuka, a character that saw a lot of changes coming into this version here. Very excited to see how we take advantage of those new stats. And of course, Domi, definitely an incredibly strong Sin player, always in a ton of online brackets across the board. And I'm excited to see there. Ooh, great jump route there as well. Very efficient then. I imagine we're seeing a lot more kind of mana efficiency choices when it comes to Asuka these days. Only has the one option in the mana regen there. No longer has access to the tension drain or health drain one here. So far with Magician Girl keeping Domi kind of caught in this corner, but a super jump IED to that JS there, and there is that new buff still growing. The eat mechanic finally does something, but everyone's been asking for it for, and everyone's like, oh, well, it gave them the random buff. No one ever used it for the random buff. You can't bet on the random buff giving you what you need to make it happen, but Domi so far, great access here into this first game. Gonna push the Magician Girl all the way to this corner here, gets another eating, get a little bit of that stamina back then, and get that positive bonus, start rolling in.
Just cover for me a little bit since Strive Internet is being Strive Internet right now for me.
All good, absolutely here. There we go. DMZ gonna get that knockdown that she's looking for. She's going here, try to get lit, and just look how little mana Asuka is able to get back these days. Actually flips right over the 2D here again, putting you through the wall one more time. This time hard knockdown. Oh, catches the backdash with the delayed 6K, and DomiWurld's gonna take that first game pretty handily, I have to say. Like, definitely kind of feel a bit of the pacing difference then. It's not as much oppression or constant kind of sitting there having to watch Asuka do things in your face. It feels like Asuka more or less gets like these really strong, like short bursts of sequences, and then kind of has to back off and kind of like essentially play out the mana bar as well as maybe look for the hands to get them what they're looking for. But I'm sure we've seen DMG definitely pull off an incredibly strong performance on Asuka of old. I'm sure as time goes on, she figures more out. We'll see even more here, but not counting the eggs that they've had hatched quite yet here. So far, keeping all of the pressure on Domi, pushing right into the corner. There's that new spell as well that Asuka has now when casting on a card slot that doesn't have a card in it. Good 6D here, gonna send all the way back way to full screen here again. And there's that run up 5D as well. You're getting so much work done right now for DMG.
There we go. Going to be able to secure the super for Sin. Domi going to be able to find that hard knockdown. Already running in and trying to find on the low. Going to be able to try to go for the hoof stomper. Going to just try to run in again. Has to build a little bit more stamina right now. But still going to be spending, trying to sweep in on the low before the YRC coming out from Dark Magician Girl. And now we're really trying to zone Domi as much as possible.
Auto mana regen, definitely going to be a much more sought after card, even more than what it was before, giving access to essentially the only ever like quicker, reliable way for Asuka to get that mana back here. We're blocking that overhead spell as well. No real cards to work with right now. The mana slowly starting to come back then. But you gotta be so careful right now, and a bit of a reset option into the throw seals out another round for Domi. Going into this second one here. See how it alters immediate burst from DMG trying to keep Domi pushed to this corner. Immediate burst back again. Neither of these players wanting to play any defense right now, but we're playing Guilty Gear Strive. The pressure, the strength of your offense is so strong across the board, but a good frame trap option there off of the driver is pushing to again. 5H coming through, a little bit of that stamina back again. There we go, positive bonus working through for Domi.
We're trying to find the hoof stomper again. Gonna find another one. Gonna be able to hit for overhead and going to combo into the corner and just gonna be popping a little bit of eats before we secure that super and secure the wall break and gonna be securing a second game on the board for Sin.
Absolutely, up 2-0 already then. And I would say, like, in regards to like characters who saw like sweeping changes, like Asuka definitely got changed more than Sin did, right? So kind of readjusting yourself, especially with a character that kind of like requires a lot of like understanding of, if I get this, I do this. And having that, that long, I don't want to call it like a flow chart in necessarily like you're kind of autopiloting, but you have to understand that you have to check your cards and respond accordingly. And we're going to see some new coverage, some new options with some of these new kind of like the empty card spell, potentially dropping those stabs here and there as well. But it always kind of has to run that strong mid-game plan that Sin is so good at doing here. But so far, DMG looks a pretty good start so far in this game 3.
Already trying to find the Elcon. Gonna be able to just get blocked a little bit with the throw break. Gonna be able to find it again. Just gonna be finding that beak driver and trying to hit for the low. Actually mix it up into the hoof stomper and gonna be still growing, trying to charge our stamina up a little bit to get those cancels right back and running. Gonna be finding the 2K2D into the Hawk Baker and already gonna be breaking the wall.
Positive, gonna start rolling here again. Got that neutral wall break then, so the meter gonna fill up real quick again. The low coming in. I'm so used to the high being the option off of that cancel. Domi here knowing that you're definitely used to seeing that sequence again, but that mana shield doing a good job keeping Asuka alive. Going through this wall here, but that delayed 6K is doing everything right now. If Domi hasn't done their taxes yet, which is, next week for y'all whoever's looking to do it here, that move can definitely do it so far for this set. That knockdown here again. Back to that more of that neutral state here. Good dash blocking here by Domi. Not letting it get clipped out by these Asuka spells so far. But 5D has been getting so much value for Dark Magician Girl. Definitely curious to see how we can adjust then. Keeping ourselves in this set. Definitely not over quite yet then. But one more round would let Domi move forward here.
Trying to run in. Nice PRC from Dark, but going to be right back for Domi. Going to be able to try to run in, use some of that stamina. Still gets bursted out, but finding a nice jump in. Get some more stamina back before using that 6K. Hawk Baker going to secure the wall and going to be securing that Tyrant Barrel and going to be securing the set. Moving on to the winner side of top 24.
Now we're getting the actual totsubunger as well. So totsubunger versus GSL coming up here so far. I swear to God, I get mixed by Totsu and Inzer all the time with their name choices. So really good stuff so far. Haven't spent on that burst already. Then good IBFD then, but actually Leo still able to make that distance. Then keep this pressure sequence going. We'll block out again. You're not gonna get punished right now, and that 2D distance is just so different than what we're used to seeing before here.
Got baited on the burst. Unfortunate there for Johto. Just going to be trying to find that chain from far slash into 5H. Maybe trying to bait out the guard stance. Finding the back turn, but not going to be able to get there long. Nice mash out coming out there from totsubunger to K2D Mr. Dolphin. And going to be using super in order to confirm that super wall break. Just got to point out that my Wolverine mod is still active. So I'm watching Wolverine getting beat out by a Dolphin, but still finding that throw into back turn and using some of that U jump mix to keep jumping on totsubunger. Nice turbulence coming out again and trying to find that high-low with the back turn K. And nice PRC. Just got to find one more really solid connection. A little too far with the fast. Oh, man.
All right, who took Leo to the trampoline park, man? This dude is absolutely bouncing off the walls right now. We're having to spend that burst right now. Gonna go immediately into that back turn again. And the jump shoes are on. We are on the moon right now. When does this pressure sequence out? Try to fight here again, but looks like Natsu gonna do their best holding on to this burst so far. IBFD to try to stop this approach here from GSL. Overhead connecting again here. Good cut block on that flip overhead here. Then, oh my god. Oh, actually back dash out of the command grab attempt. I can definitely say I have not seen that command grab in a hot minute, but there's some changes here. Good routing so far. Not going to be enough to kill then. You have to deal with this incoming mix from Totsu.
Oh, nice. Gonna be able to find the jump in to get a little 1-2-3 in order to secure the first round for totsubunger there. Really able to clutch out in some rough situations. And of course, a lot of catches on backdash punches or that command grab, being able to constantly with punish there was really strong coming out from totsubunger. Also, just I mentioned a little earlier, but like to point out that I'm watching Wolverine on my screen because I have that mod, and I know he's using Alt 4 because it is the standard Wolverine fit. So that's fun.
Love that, love that. Yeah, and shouts to Johto for just showing off the new move. You know, I'm not sure how optimal in pressure that many hops is. You know, at this point we're not all really comfortable with how to deal with that functionality. Great IB off that back turn there. Catching out then off that DP, close touch game started then. Burst gonna work out here. Johto, another baited DP again. Oh my gosh, Totsu just in Johto's mind right now. No one's gonna come out here. Yeah, IBFD gonna stop against that close touch pressure. They're gonna come through here. Weird angle from that jump. Maybe the cross through into the backflip gonna come out here. Jumping out once again. Oh, but there is that back turn key. One of the best anti-airs in the game. Shot here again. The lows coming in. Oh, the stanky leg coming through. Pushing through that wall with the super. Is it enough to kill? Not quite. Mei is definitely built like her anchor itself.
She's still got a little bit of life ahead of her, but that DP finally going to be able to catch with some chip damage, and we saw there was going to be a PRC right after just in case it didn't secure the kill, and already finding the throw off of the block, Mr. Dolphin, and getting some more hops in there before confirming into another turbulence. Immediate wall break coming out there for Johto, and just trying to find maybe a JH, maybe a 2K, still building a ton of positive tension, finding the back turn, but again getting jabbed out of it by totsubunger, who's going to continue this pressure into the corner. The 6P coming out, but it didn't cross up.
Yeah, no cross up means no back turn then, but we were ready with that wake up DP then. Gonna stop Totsu from being able to lose approach so far. Both players trying to fish right now. The battle of mids, who can do it here. Oh, we sent the burst on one of the most burst safe parts of it, but you know, sometimes you're like, I know that you know that I know that I shouldn't burst here, so maybe you won't actually try to bait me for it then, but Totsu absolutely ready right now. Good try trying to cross over a down up flash kick here. Sends out the super, but we are in Guilty Subscribe 2.0. You cannot cancel it. You have to be right when you're willing to rip it. Round 3 coming in here for our two combatants, and they are absolutely going crazy right now, NM.
They really are being able to get so many 2Ks into a confirm, trying to find the ball, but really nice poke out coming out there from Johto, trying to find those far slashes into 5Hs, finding that guard stance counter for a second there, but still having to deal with this throw coming out from totsubunger is going to be rough, especially as they actually put themselves into the corner, but still get the RRC confirm. Finally, burst going to be active for Johto, finding the back turn, confirm it with some back turn Ks, but that backdash just single-handedly clutched up for totsubunger, just a little bit more coming from you.
Oh my gosh, and Totsu here showing that the backdash is able to get out of that fast RC into the back turn here, figuring out enough to kill, then the damage scale actually coming through, not quite enough to, but the dash up into the 5P, answering again here, keeping Totsu up in the set, much closer than that first game, but up 2-0 right now. The winner of this will get to be in that winner side of top 8, and obviously still have a chance then if you do drop out from this set, coming through on that loser side. But totsubunger definitely just keeping the pressure strong, keeping it fairly safe as well into these options. And you're just kind of seeing a bit of a difference then in options that Leo has to do. 2D definitely still, functional in being a low, but not as egregious and a good of approach option that was once there for Leo. But Leo Whitefang, if he gets you in that back turn, the pressure can absolutely be brutal. And we know Johto can definitely do it if they can make it there.
Oh yeah, Johto, one of the best Leos right now, already just trying to rush it in, maybe trying to find that 5H, finds the 2D, RRC confirmed to get some pressure in the corner, keep wall bouncing into 2S in order to confirm that back turn, quarter circle back, heavy slash, and gonna be finding a 2K, finding a fireball, first time I think we've seen it in this set, a nice PRC to make sure that 5D whiff did not get punished. Oh!
Big counter hit come out there. Gonna get a burst fed out by Johto here. Tries to hit them in the corner here again. Tried to force the sequence here, but Johto keeps the pressure on, able to trade out, get up around here in this game 3, keep themselves in this set, but a good route so far. Here by Totsu pushing all the way to that corner. A little delayed overhead here, gonna not quite stick into that wall. You have 50 now to work with them, but a good 5P mash out then. Gonna keep themselves back in it, but the jump option gonna get clipped out here. This May 5B doing so much right now for Totsu. Gonna push away to the corner, try to send it out on the DP, but wasn't right here. And with that round, Totsu now on set point.
Already backdashing, trying to find that 5H confirmed, not going to be finding it, instead going to be thrown for your troubles. Just going to get JP mashed into Dolphin, and already you're going to be going to another part of the stage. Nice clash on that 6P there, but it doesn't give you strong advantage for Johto. Still trying to find that confirm into back turn, finally getting positive off of the back turn K, but as I say that, gets thrown.
Gonna get caught on run to that fireball, then the 5D into side switch to come out, but a good anti-air 5P by Totsu here on this Mega. Quick foot there. Oh, a bit of the longest shimmy of your life. You have to sit there and take it. Oh no, but not gonna actually connect to the 5K. Johto runs up again for another throw just to see if it'll work, and just like that, totsubunger gonna take it 3-0 over GSL.
The pool of balls coming out here, and of course the cameo coming out from the original Robo Kai model. We're getting a new Robo Kai model coming out in 2.0 for the next character, and already Lasagna Slayer doing very good at keeping SQ at bay, but SQ finally found the poke to get themselves in, but not for long with that burst.
Kind of seeing there's that new kind of like held shot that Elphelt now has access to, kind of allows her to essentially delay, when that alternate shot will be adjusting from either the S or H version here. So stuck in that corner then, there's the throw, it's the OTG, goes to the simple empty low, gets blocked out by Lasagna. Great defense so far. That part's gonna connect so far, but there's the burst back as trying to keep Lasagna stuck in this corner then. Oh, the air throw attempt just missing there on the Bubble Chocolat.
There you go, just trying to dive pool your way in again. Gonna get flipped down on another bomb, going to confirm your death. Really nice rush down and pokes coming out here so far from SQ. Gonna be able to take the first round, but Lasagna Slayer very close to getting this burst here and already starting their pressure very strong, but you gotta be watching for that bomb flip into another one, already securing the wall break for SQ.
Shout out to reversal bomb flip on Wake Up there to get out of that sequence. Definitely a little spooky unless you know the pool ball is actually trading very well with the Elphelt projectile here. But here comes Dark Angel. Hold down the neutral for me, my son. Good JK to take him out of the corner here. Still active enough there. Not enough to get the wall break after, though. Kind of works out in the favor for Lasagna. Keeping SQ locked out of this corner. Not able to jump out quite yet then. The lows keep on ringing in. Q5 keeps this Elphelt stuck in that point. Tries to move forward again. 2-3 to keep the sequence going. Puts it through the wall, but not going to be a hard knockdown. A little bit back to neutral here.
And just one more pool ball in order to secure it. Going to be able to get all of them off the stage and take the round. And already trying to find that jump. Finds the air-to-air. Tries to go 2K2D into getting some pool ball setups. Going to be finding a shot onto the ground and just trying to zone out a little bit. Keeping SQ in a dash block sort of state right now. Where now we're starting to hop over them. Starting to close the distance. But still, Dark Angel going to be coming through. Robokai going to be trying to charge in to help out Venom. Help out the bro. But not going to be happening.
Absolutely. Slow down here. Oh, is able to just get out with that ID attempt then, but a delay ID over into that JD from Lasagna. Try to keep this thing going, but here Elphelt pushed you all the way to this corner then. Tries to exit out with the shotgun then, a little too close to keep it safe though. Good 2P to mash out here, but Lasagna, we're back into that Venom game plan. They did nerf the Stinger a little bit coming into this version of the game. As long as we can finish the route here, Lasagna gonna be able to do it and put the first game on the board. And now the question will be, is SQ committed to the Elphelt for this run, or is it Ram time?
It's gonna be a big question. It felt like we had a really good start, but once Lasagna Slayer kind of got used to some of the tactics from Elphelt, especially some of those bomb flips, and of course being able to get some really nice kind of mid-screen pokes, it was really over for SQ as Lasagna Slayer was just able to buckle it down from there, getting straight into the second game already, just ID back and going to be able to set out a ball, but nice throw immediately coming out there for SQ, going to try to bomb flip again, actually getting some strike throw with another throw coming out there, and now just trying to back up, but still.
Get that burst. Really out of SQ just not to take too much more damage here from Lasagna Slayer's sequences right now. Letting that pool ball, and there's that new angle from the 2D hit that Venom now gets then on these pool balls. Oh, the fuzzy overhead off the BRC. Really good stuff from Lasagna, putting SQ through this wall, but no hard knockdown. A little bit back to neutral then. Both these characters so comfortable with playing that space because of the projectiles, but a great recognition on that hit. Sends out another stinger then, and puts another round on the board for Lasagna Slayer.
Nice. Able to just drive their way in. Just trying to run in right now. Still getting hit out. Having the block. Block on the low. Lasagna Slayer trying to send in another pool ball. A few more too. One of them going to clash with the fireball. But finally SQ going to try to flip their way in. Try to get the shotgun off. Still having to deal with a lot of the momentum coming out from Lasagna Slayer. And again, these pool balls still getting shot out. But nice air to air. We're starting to chase SQ down to the quarter with that BRC. Actually setting defense back up.
Yeah, and the 5K actually hit, but the BRC wasn't, it would keep close enough to be able to connect. But here we go, SQ, keep on pushing to the corner. There it is, put on the vest, push it through the wall. Good luck guessing this. If you are wrong, this round is going SQ's way. Yeah, I don't think we were going to see a burst out of Lasagna there. But going into this third round now, full burst for either side. Be curious to see how quickly we are willing to spend it. Both these characters can definitely do a good chunk of damage if they get the right hit then, but definitely not necessarily known for their high damage output. Velocity's there, but good 6P. There's that first burst being spent. Gotta keep SQ stuck in this corner, then will SQ get a chance to use hers as well?
Go gonna clash. Try to thought the dive Q was gonna be coming out, but nice little block string series going into the low there from SQ. Gonna be able to bomb flip again and again, finding 2K2D, trying to find 2K into another special. Not going to happen. Lasagna Slayer just trying to defend for their dear life. Finally hit confirmed, starting to come out a little bit for SQ into the throw. Finds the OTG. YRC for the last hurrah coming out here from Lasagna Slayer. After the dive Q, you do get bursted out with one more solid hit. That RRC is going to confirm your death as we tie up the set.
And there we go. SQ answering back, shutting the blue, saying, you know, maybe want to go to Ram. Nah, no Ram needed here. So many players. These are two players who you definitely have seen in tons of top eights of a lot of online brackets on their respective character. And like I said before, Lasagna so put a lot more time into Venom, I would say, as of late. And SQ has put a lot of time into Elphelt in the past. So it's been kind of exciting to see her return to another character here and do an incredibly good job so far in this top 8 qualifier then. But so far, the opening gambit here of this third game and that charge shot, you're so used to kind of having an idea of like, okay, once this shot comes out from Elphelt, I know I can kind of pick these different jump angles now, but now being able to alter that timing can really keep your opponent guessing on when they can make the jump out and figure out how to get around that fireball.
Nice dive Q coming down. Could be able to pick up with that 2K. Still trying to continue the momentum with some of these pool balls, but still SQ just going to be trying to rush it down. Going to find the hit into the confirm. Trying to flip the gun down. Going to be able to find it again, but nice burst coming out. Going to be popping that Dark Angel. Going to try to get RoboKai in there to continue pressure. Actually going to hit.
Gonna hit indeed then, but all you get is a little bit of explosion for a little extra layer of mix, and not the biggest damage so far, but definitely at least have SQ where you want her right now. But tries to come through here. Dark Angel's likely gonna clash and beat out on that fireball again. Tries to get the jump out attempt then, but Dark Angel keeping you locked in. So far so good here. Good jump out of here again. SQ picking such good moments to make their escape to get out of that corner then. So important in that sequence here, but the pool ball is set. Push away at this corner here. It's coming through, and the fireball gonna catch your toes on the way up here. SQ taking that round, but went down a full 60+ seconds then. Both these characters just trying to send out the projectiles and see what you do after.
First coming out there from SQ, gonna find an anti-air 2 onto Lasagna Slayer. Gonna be flipping through, trying to find another hit in, gonna try to find the low, gonna try to find with some more bomb flips, gonna be able to get a counter hit for a bit of a second, but nice deflect coming out there from Lasagna Slayer, but still, this defense gotta be playing a game, and it is.
I have to say, it looks so miserable to fight Elphelt without a regular reversal option. He could just keep you locked there for so long then, but good job Lasagna finding a little bit of that space so far right now. But a good chunk of damage out, but even with chip damage alone here, definitely not out of it quite yet then. A couple more of these stingers coming through to pick it out. Put the ball to the sky to catch out that jump out potential. But here's Dark Angel again, pushing LV out. SQ actually ran into it. Not sure if she was looking for maybe a dash block attempt or even just want to go to the next round here. But there it is. Good stuff, Lasagna. Taking a round back, keeping this set incredibly close. We get the third one, and there it is. The command grab coming through again. Oh, but a drop though.
Fortunate on that drop, still just trying to send in more balls from up top. Really nice counter hit coming through from SQ. Gonna continue this momentum. Gonna be going into the mid right now, sending out the Dark Angel. Lasagna Slayer trying to make their way back in, pushing SQ all the way back and actually finding the hit. Gonna be able to confirm on the Dark Angel with RoboKai, but still nice counter hit coming through.
Worried though, so everything is all right here. Hopefully our players are feeling good in the game as well, but you know, tries to IAD over them, but the landing was able to cover in time to at least get a trade hit there. Oh, but the clash on that, the pool ball staying out too as well. It's another Dark Angel, sends it again. I'm wondering if that last one, they actually caught her startup frame from the jump attempt, but so far keeping her locked down. Oh, too spaced out for a 5D to connect right there. That FD doing a lot of work and flip in to say into that throw, but there's the burst. I'm trying to take another mix up from this Elphelt here. SQ not really any meter to work with then, not too much behind this burst, so actually just the one deflect shield as well should she need it, but actually runs right into corner pocket there, and Lasagna Slayer gonna go up another game. 2-1 right now, and one more game away from moving on.
Yep, Lasagna needs one more to go in order to lock it in for the top 8 and fight against Classified and their Geo. Just going to have to figure out if they're going to continue to zone out on this Elphelt and her super oppressive high-low rushdown game. Actually going to be seeing if SQ is still feeling the Elphelt, taking a little bit of time here getting back into the cabinet, but no, we're still locking in on her.
she believes in the Elphelt, at least for this run. I'm not sure if it's more of like a personal feeling. Maybe her stream convinced her to make the Elphelt run here, but Elphelt definitely a character that saw a lot of, probably mostly good changes, I would say, as far as what the character was looking for. So, but, of course, Venom definitely in a strong space. Essentially a character that's only gotten buffs, since his iteration of coming into Guilty Gear, but definitely still struggles with some aspects of the game plan then, especially in like the damage department, but players kind of playing a little bit of a loose neutral style right now, not going too committed so far, but good jump in so far here again. There's that burst, answering back from Lasagna, not trying to play any of this defense here. It's pretty close, might actually, still comes out in time. It actually ends up clipping Lasagna in the process then. It's still active in the back as well here. Okay, not going to clip SQ. I was so curious if it was going to be an active enough hitbox despite leaving part of the screen there. Did not come into play here, but the throw sequence keeping going. Keep Lasagna locked in this corner. They fuzz double overhead with the RC to convert it then, and SQ going up the first round here in this game 4.
Solid coming out from SQ so far. Already just trying to jump in on those pole balls. Still, Lasagna Slayer just trying to poke out right now. Nice fireball, but still these balls are very fast. You got to be careful. It looks like SQ knows that. They were trying to stay in the air, now trying to rush in on the low and trying to dash block here. But it looks like this Dark Angel is going to be set up to keep SQ at bay. Actually going to be running in on her right now, trying to set up some more pool balls and going to find the anti-air.
Look at this sequence right over from Lasagna, keeping SQ from guessing when could she actually approach his sequence from on that point. Good block out here from the latter half of that option here. Actually just clips out one of the potential side switch there on that JD. Blocks out that overhead. BRC to keep themselves enough plus to keep it going there. Shotgun out to enter out a little bit safely then. But the Q5 just going to connect here, gets the hard knockdown and clips it with the OTG6H. Lasagna Slayer now on set point.
Going to be set point versus survival point right now. SQ going to have to lock it down if they want to take it to a game 5. Just going to run up throw after a bunch of strikes. They're going to be able to hit on the low 2. Continue this pressure against Lasagna Slayer. Lasagna Slayer trying to poke out, but the burst comes through. SQ says, nah, I'm having none of that. I'm continuing this pressure before that burst comes out in tow.
Understandable here. Once you get your opponent locked in that corner, it can be so strong, especially if you know how to route without breaking that wall here. Sends out the Dark Angel one more time. I've seen this a few times from Lasagna Slayer right now. Actually catches SQ in her backdash then. Gonna put her through the wall now with a hard knockdown. Now we want to be then 100 meter to work with then. But ends up getting clipped here. Not gonna be enough to kill. There's no super behind it. Still 100 meter then. Kind of back to more of that neutral standpoint. Cashes out from that 2P as we got put out here by Lasagna. Block on the overhead here. Couple close slashes to keep pushing back to this corner. Risk is being built up, but they be swung right into the Dark Angel. It's gonna do it. Not even gonna get a chance to burst, being locked out during that cinematic. And Lasagna Slayer gonna take it 3-1 over SQ. Goldlewis's days were numbered, but here you go, y'all. First set of the top 8 coming in right now here. We have, of course, Red on the Goldlewis and Totsu on the May in the first burst. Getting spent here by Red right now. Get a little bit of Totsu off of there. Good IBFD on that low here. Going to push Red all the way to this corner. Luckily going to put them through the glass here and get that positive bonus. Oh, a little double dolphin cancel for a little extra meter gain as well. I see you, Totsu.
A nice slam going to go into Mr. Dolphin and then just go to RRC into the low already. May just really rushing it down in order to secure that first round and already maybe playing a little patient, but either way, these Mr. Dolphin picks just keep coming out so well.
Actually able to slide underneath the drone then, but good dash blocking by Red here. A lot of the block on the sequence out here, but Totsu going to push Red all the way to this corner right now, and a good chunk of damage. Look at that, putting you through, digging about 50% right now. No super needed, but a Behemoth going to catch you on your retreat attempt here again. Hold on to this drone real quick for him while doing a few coffin swings in your face again. That falling JD going to keep pushing Totsu closer and closer to this corner. 6P, a little fast PRC, can't skip there, but good backdash then stop out from that 4-8-2 sequence here again. Knockdown coming through. Good 5D into the clip. Finishes the food. Takes another round. We're getting our third round here already in our first game.
Going into the third round now, seeing how neutral starts off. Immediate Mr. Dolphin gonna just arc away over to the other side. Nice foul-less defense in order to kind of just protect ourselves a little bit against a lot of these hard buttons coming out from RedIAmNot, trying to set up the drone again, but still nice stuff from totsubunger being able to keep the mobility up and away.
Oh, I have to spend that burst right now to try to take any of that damage here from Totsubunger. Barcelona come out here again, sets up the drone, hold down for me a little bit here. JD keeps them from being able to run underneath. Super maybe he'll just connect, it does here, puts you through the wall, get that hard knockdown. A little bit of pause starts rolling in here, but the meter not quite building up quite yet. Not a lot of health to work with then, so a few more chips could be enough to do it. But a good RC to keep this combo going and a push Red all the way back to that corner. Not gonna break the glass, and a bit of a stagger dash going forward, blocking out these lows. Sending out the Skyfish here, gonna have to drain down that meter to see some dime to chip damage here. Red trying to see if they can answer back, but a 6P stop sign stops Totsu from putting out any more pressure in this first gaming. Game 1 is going to Red.
Really solid kill coming out from Red there. I absolutely love too using the Skyfish at the end. You saw absolutely melting the tension meter over there for totsubunger, using that fountless defense in order to try to create some more push block away from all those bullets. Really good way of draining that meter coming out from RedIAmNot.
Absolutely here, but fresh game, fresh experience here. We'll see how the any distance from Totsu to be able to answer back then. But game 1 definitely could have gone either way here. Both players taking it to the third round so far. But right now, Red on the defense then holds up and gets out with a JD potential option. But the Farsh is actually going to clip the drop of that drone here. Get to the up Dolphin then, keeping it burst safe as possible. A couple electric Dolphin cancels, building up a little bit more of that meter here. The retreating of that air behemoth, but no full pickup option. Then spends it out on an additional behemoth. There's that burst, sends out the laser right now, gonna pull you closer into the Goldlewis again. Actually push you into that corner, the overhead coming through here. Another overhead, you see a third, it's into the low.
Keeps trying to go in with some BTs. Still though, boundless defense really clutching up here from totsubunger, trying to continue this rush down, but still nice connection coming through from RedIAmNot, continuing to try to apply some heavy guard here over and over. And now here comes the laser from the sky. Do you know? Oh,
definitely knew something. I'm wondering if there was like maybe a slightly less security gauge laser, if that would have been enough to actually kind of cancel out in that process. So good stuff to Totsu, working around that, essentially like, forcing you into that Goldlewis situation, but a good whiff punish with that far slash there by Red. Gonna put Totsu in a world of hurt right now. Reddy has you in the corner off the rip, but a good 5P gonna stop that behemoth option here again. Dropping the drone here, gonna put you there, good slide underneath again, but once again, Red is not trying to overcommit after this drone here. And Totsu's by getting underneath it. Still just put back in this corner, but getting absolutely boxed in at this point. Not only we're going to see the burst, push you through the wall, breaking the glasses in the process then. There we go. Another round 3 here for our game 2.
right, getting into round 3 now. These two have been toe to toe. Try to go in with that JD right there and still trying to slam down the coffin to see if they can catch totsubunger just running in. Gonna be finding that JD, gonna be able to connect it to Behemoth Typhoon, send out a drone, and gonna be masking the punch in that drone too. Still really solid pressure coming out here from RedIAmNot.
Solid D there. Oh, actually ends up hitting out that Behemoth startup then, but no full combo potentially after. They need to connect on the hood, but no combo, keep going. Good IBFD. Pressure keeps on coming in, trying to fight out from these giant behemoth swings, but not gonna work out. Sneaks right underneath there, but the good stagger into the throw, hits him with the OTG, and Red putting another game on the board. And despite the going to round 3 both times, it feels like Red is just kind of maintaining that control just a bit more than Totsu can seem to find in the matchup so far. So that's going to bring it to 2-0 here. One more game. We'll let Red move on forward to that next set of matches here. But totsubunger, definitely an incredibly strong competitor. I am sure they can definitely look deep and figure out the way here to take us potentially to a game 4.
Right, let's see if we can lock in for a game 4. Already really solid start for RedIAmNot. Nice 5P coming out from Totsu, but no connection. Just get Behemoth Typhoon, as now we're just going to be walking with the drone, that slow fireball that allows us to get in and secure some Behemoth Typhoons coming out here. Can't get that third one.
Come out here again, but both just work out quite out of the range of these behemoths. Then 2P kind of trading in their favor, but a back throw going to put you back to this corner. Keeping it plus then to these staggered out close. That's just worth so much value. But there's that birth into the laser. Then gonna do the super jump up. Then it kind of takes us to the corner. At least like Goldlewis gets you back to where you're looking for. But a good mash out with that 5K RC. Gonna put you through the wall here. That positive bonus rolling in, but you have to worry about the 100 meters sitting on red side.
Slam it down. Nice being able to block, trying to run down against Totsu, but Totsu finds a bunch of 5P confirms and just going to be running it down, going to confirm the kill.
Yeah, great answer back here from Totsu so far in this game. We said before, like, both these games have gone to the third rounds and prior, so it definitely could have been a different result, maybe a little bit better, but there's the overhead. Behemoth coming in, going to clip you. Potential shimmy jumping up attempt here again. Back-to-back overhead. A third one. A fourth one. Just watch your dome here while I put you through the glass. Good chunk of damage. Not quite enough to kill. May built like a ship in herself. Tried not to be able to put out on the sequence, but these 2K pokes are getting so much done. And a perfect here from Red, bringing us to another round 3. This time set point.
Got to be feeling good if you're RedIAmNot right now. You're on set point versus survival point, and totsubunger got to be playing with their lives if they go on to continue into winners finals. Still though, this drone is proving to be very offensive pressure. Nice backdash and nice bait on the burst.
Gets the back hit of the Dolphin for the side switch here. Did not clip it into the wall at least. Maybe it worked out in your favor, honestly. This pressure keeps building up right now. One more hit is likely all you need if you are Totsu, but Red can definitely find a way to fight out. And the Skyfish going to give himself that hard knockdown here again, make it all across the screen. Okay, coming through here, FRC into the low, blocks over, great block so far. Another block on the overhead Behemoth, but this sliding 2K is doing so much work for Red. Has Totsu stuck in this corner. Can we block out the entire sequence again? The Shimis are going through, but a great forward advantage 2K. It's that low for Totsu. But the JK gets blocked out on the side switch again. This can still go either way. I don't know what's going to think of NM. The burst to stop the Skyfish as well.
Ooh, the 5P's just anti-airing Behemoth Typhoons left and right. A little bit left right now for totsubunger, and that 5D going to secure the kill. It was.
I probably have this problem right, so I feel you.
Here we go, guys.
Loser side of top A here, like we said, we're gonna take a little trip down to the bottom. Then, as these players here on their last life of the bracket tonight, then these two have definitely met in plenty of online brackets. So, kind of very curious to see how this next install. We actually saw them on the winner side of this in the pools part of the bracket too. So, definitely exciting to see how, if any adjustments from their previous set comes into play. So far here. Insert trying to do their best. Then both players spinning out that burst so far, but here comes the RC confirm after. Gonna put you through this glass. Likely there it is. Bring in that positive bonus. Then a little bit of that burst meter and tension as well. But these May 5Ks find a little bit of their mark. Then 3K RC not gonna quite connect. There's that 2D option here. Gonna block on that cross. Blocks the overhead as well. Frame traps it again into Berserker Slash. But there's the burst back from Insert. Trying their best to keep themselves in still this round. Can believe that they can do it. 2D actually going to clip on the way out, but the DP going to at least answer back. Not enough to kill quite yet then. Any damage eventually do it, and it's just, it ends up whiffing, but works out in the favor of GSL. Gets that first round on the board.
Nice, and immediately trying to poke out, trying to find that guard stance, maybe get a 5P. Nice throw coming out from Insert. Going to be able to get the overhead and bait out the DP. Going to be mashing through in order to secure this wall break. Really solid start coming out from Insert there. Jodo going to have to figure out a way back. Just backing up right now. Finding the 2D and going to continue into getting back turn. Finding heavy from that. Going from the jump, but gets YRC trying to go for that low kick.
Good super jump and just kind of flowing on there with the FD kind of canceling there from Insert. Gets himself out of that rough situation with the fireball coming in, but there is that far H here. Great version here from Jodo. Ooh, not quite able to at least cancel that back turn K into the parry option then. Good answer then off of that Dolphin. Has to force the burst out to keep themselves in this potential game here from Insert. Let's do it here. Oh, but the Dolphin's actually going to clip the attempt from the low poke then. And we have a round apiece.
Going band for band right now. Now trying to set up that guard stance. Maybe a 5P in order to get ourselves back. Still getting that back turn stance. Finding a counter hit on the slash. Gonna set it up again with the turbulence. Gonna find that kick. And now we're going into our oppressive game plane. Finding that flip into the jump. Gonna be finding that slash into and trying to get maybe a 5P after the fact. Getting as much pressure as possible. Still being thrown by Insert. Put into the corner. Thrown again. The strike throw going insane right now for Insert. But they whiff that time. Johto just knew it was gonna happen, and that's gonna be that first game.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried there after the drop, but I was able to keep the button at least media up on the follow-up, then catching out Insert on their potential reversal option again. Tried to throw, I believe, after the backdash as well, did not end up connecting, so Johto indeed taking that first game, but I imagine these two will be trading blows back and forth here. Curious if we can get a game 5 on the board. Seen a lot of 3-0s tonight then, but once again, we talk about y'all is like, this is a very new version of the game and a lot of the feel of the game, I would say the most to kind of experience it. So definitely kind of curious to see how the adjustment to more of the snowball-y play style here gets adjusted against. But great answer by Johto there with the veteran parry. Actually throws out the slash option here, bursting Insert right back into this corner here.
Nice to be able to go for the throw, finding the kick right after the fact, mixing in that jump to go for some nice high-low mix. Going to be able to find that wall break, just instantly backdashing, trying to maybe set up some fireballs, finding that slash, and going to be able to get an easy kill there.
Yeah, easy indeed here. This up to Johto, keeping the pressure on, not giving Insert a chance to kind of essentially adjust to what they're trying to bring here. Oh, but an unfortunate up Dolphin. Going to put yourself in the corner here. Not where you want to be in against essentially any character in this game, but closest going to be answered back then by the Orca. Here again, 2D going to get clipped out here. Good fuzzy jump out from that potential throw attempt. Can't get sequence going there, but the 6P a little too early for the normal coming in, and Insert answering back, bringing us to a round 3 here. Definitely where you want to be if you are a May fan right now, but locked on the overhead. Actually gets the Dolphin punched out by that slash normal. Sends out the ace boom here again, but not quite good. Anti-air with the 5P. Gonna get this Insert push all the way to this corner here. Back turn not quite strong enough to keep it going. Another 5P anti-air answering this Dolphin.
Nice 5D coming out there. Going to be able to set up the back turn stance. Watch out, though, because that Orca is going to be coming for you. There we go. Gets hit again. Has to pop the burst. Gets back turn stance, but still getting hit out by these Mr. Dolphins. Momentum is insane right now from Insert, and it's going to be going all the way to another part of the stage. Not going to be dead just yet, but one more Mr. Dolphin on that neutral going to do it.
There it is. Insert not saying no 3-0s in this side here. I'm at least answering back with one. Curious to see whose mistake is there. I imagine both these players are going to be kind of trading blows back and forth, adjusting to what each other is bringing. Once again, the pace and the understanding of when you spend meter, how to understand yourself getting meter, when does meter penalty wear off from a lot of these sequences. So much of the game's flow and feel is just so different right now. It's been incredibly exciting to see how these players are chewing the pilot. Then a lot of the old feels the same in some of the names we're seeing right now then, but you know that these players are definitely a whole lot of, oh, that happened, oh, this happened kind of thing. So definitely a very exciting time to contribute some Guilty Gear Strive.
It really is an amazing time to get to the game right now, especially as we're seeing Johto absolutely just schmicks onto Insert, but gets anti-aired right there, having to backdash, trying to be careful, does get hit for a counter, so just going to be able to get back to the back turn stance, try to get that corner pressure up, maybe try to mix the jump in there, but still Mr. Dolphin going to take you out of back turn, slam the hammer down, as we're just going to be going air to air to air. Mr. Dolphin bringing us back in there, and with that wall break, we're going to be left on very little.
But 100 meter to work with, but a simple May 5P gonna stop any forward progressive option here. Insert getting that first round so far, but so definitely no slouch when it comes to being able to adjust what their opponents bring in. Not feeling quite lost out. Very often, I remember the first seeing Johto in online brackets and essentially be having a conversation in Twitch chat mid-set as well. So definitely, you know, always surprising to see what version of Johto we're going to get for the night. Is it the sweaty competitor? Is it the for my loyal fans version here? But so far, working pretty well here in this round 2, but a great clip of that Dolphin. Going to push it all the way to this corner here. Leave him through the glass. Oh, just misses the pickup here again. There's no positive coming through. Kind of keeps themselves locked in right now. One more good hit could potentially do it then, but Leo definitely built enough to be able to take this.
There we go. Going to be able to get that wall break again. Has to BRC. Tries to find that JS. Throw break going to be coming out. Trying to send in that fireball. Mr. Dolphin going to be forcing out the burst. Really is the last chance. And with that clash, going to be another game going towards Insert.
There you go. Insert now sitting at 2-1. One more game keeps them in this bracket. Makes GSL have to watch from the sideline here, but we'll see if Johto can kind of look inward and figure out what they need to do to be able to kind of traverse what this jellyfish pirate is doing with all of these sea creatures here. So definitely back and forth. And I imagine these characters, you know, had a pretty similar experience with each other previous patch. So not seeing too many differences right now from a lot of the sequences, but I imagine the 2D kind of change definitely hurting Leo in some aspects here. Good block so far here from Insert then. Both players not willing to spend the burst quite yet.
Nice. RRC going to be coming out. Going to be able to bring Johto to the corner. Johto trying to get out. Fireball just going to be ignored. Gets the back turn stance. Nice neutral burst coming out there. Trying to go for the heavy back turn. Still, RRC going to be coming through. Going to be following up on Johto into the corner. Going to be able to get a solid wall break off.
Absolutely. And Pod's going to start rolling in here. 100 meter again for Johto. A tale as old as time as he's on the set. Well, it seems to having the meter, then not fair time to actually spend it. Here you go on the super and get that hard knockdown again. We do have 50 to work with, depending on what our sequence will end up being. But any hit could potentially do it. Super Jump Fuzzy out here. 100 meter for Totsu to work with. And a simple back throw to be able to do it. Insert now on set point. If they can just get this extra round here, go in their way. So far, pretty good start here. Going into that point. Get clipped out by that guard point option follow-up from Leo right now. But these 5P anti-teams have been doing so much work.
To find a safe way in, maybe trying to go for that guard stance right now. Insert just trying to maybe find a slash or something else. Nice 2S coming out there from Johto. 236S going to be coming through. Finds the throw on the cross up and going to be able to continue the pressure in the corner. Finds a poke. Forces the burst to come out. Back turn immediately, but so many JPs coming through with that dash momentum. And now you're stuck in the corner again. The DP is whiffed. And with that, it is going to be Insert moving on 3-1 player. So they're having fun over there, but either way, we're having fun over here. Both of us having the green ults on and already getting started with this projectile game.
Absolutely. That's gonna want to take any of that Asuka stuff then. Gonna burst out right away then. Gets clipped out by that 2D on the option. There's that new empty spell. Kind of curious what they'll end up calling it. Maybe I should just look up the name at this point. I'm sure it's a pretty fun one. They've had some pretty incredible names for Asuka spells so far. Cannot lie, but we should drop push SQ away this corner then. Versus out with that bomb flip here. Kind of get stuck in the corner there, but no cards to work with right now for Dark Magician Girl. Draw out then. The 5D RC going to come through here again. Good jump IED route then. Kind of keep, essentially like that route has existed the entire time for Asuka. You're probably just going to see it more because it's essentially like you don't have to use your spells to be able to pick it up here. So good stuff so far for the Magician Girl. Kind of keeps it, but good 2H approach here from SQ. Actually going to clip out of the sky.
Nice, find her way in again. Just going to be moving up on Dark Magician Girl, pushing them to the corner. RRCing, finding a poke, finding a really nice counter hit, and going to be continuing this into death in a perfect.
Great answering back here so far by SQ then, but go ahead and kind of pull out here. All that green cube doing so much work. Even if you take out one of the cubes, the other ones still are there inactive, unless you can clip them in the process. And we're seeing stuff here. Oh, but has the full recovery after you shoot the gun. Clipped by that bottom cube, but not enough to keep the sequence going. No mana quite yet here. Mana shield is back right now, so we're gonna go through the wall. Oh, not gonna choose to spend it on the super. Maybe we're quite ready for it to actually stick. Good dash block there. Run right into the screen Metron here. Clip here again, push you all the way back to that corner. You just got Abing ready to find your way back in. Burst immediately out from Revolution Girl. Super should be able to connect. Actually going to clip SQ for her attempt to approach. But look at how slow that mana regen is now. Oh, that's two. But a good super answering back at the temp is enough to kill. It actually is. Not the highest damage super. Not a lot of life to work at. SQ going to take the first game.
Man, that was a really nice super pop at the end from SQ, but also just insane momentum and callouts coming out from SQ throughout that entire match, especially that second round, constantly being able to find those pokes and find those counter hits in order to secure their win. And now just gonna be going straight into the second game. I imagine the Dark Magician Girl has to really figure out an answer on how to effectively push out somebody who just closes in on you like Elphelt.
Definitely easier said than done for sure, depending on what your kit has available to you. But there is the burst from SQ once again. Everything Girl kind of winning the opening gambit so far in a lot of the rounds at least then. But there's that wall stick with the new empty spell here. Gonna get that super, push you through the wall. Positive bonus. Gonna start rolling through here. Definitely at least build up a lot of that burst meter for you. There's a little bit of that tension, a good chunk coming through here again. Almost has 50 enough to work with, and getting that mana back here. Watch cards, get that auto refill again, but 2 blue cubes to work with. Not the best spells you want to be seeing if you're Asuka. Get a couple more Scream Engines again, but the mana is spent and out right now.
He's just trying to find more shots in, finding another shot again, just continuing the pressure onto Dark Magician Girl. Has to play it extremely safe right now though. Nice, finding that super, gonna try to connect with Dark Magician Girl, going to find it. 1 HP and a dream, still going with the throw. Hit OTG on the low, hit another low. YRC, is that the answer?
Maybe quiet, but there's barely any health here. A chip damage could potentially even do it at this point for SQ. Oh, but no full combo pickup here. Good block on the overhead. Then push back quite out, and actually the air. Oh, it ends up chipping as well. I thought that ended up hitting, but the air icicle actually clips out SQ on her approach attempt. Good recognition that SQ essentially just needed to be able to block something then to get that round going in your favor. Mission Girl gets anti-hit by the green cube once again. Not gonna push you through the wall quite yet.
There we go. Going to be popping super. Going to be getting that hard knockdown onto SQ as Dark Magician Girl just going to be jumping in. 2K2D though, going to be hitting you out, trying to find that bomb flip. YRC going to be catching you lacking too as we're trying to send a book, try to send a fireball in there, but SQ is trying to hold their own.
There, Charger coming through here. Oh, not quite enough to get punished here again. Okay, coming through, deflect shield as well for that sequence. Good dash blocking, not gonna get clipped by that low once more. Any hit could potentially do it for SQ. And let Original go get this game back, but a JS can at least clip out from the sky, but not able to combo in the sequence here again. But the pressure is a little too strong, not a lot of health to work with here. And game 2 is gonna go to Dark Magician Girl, and we got 1 apiece.
Tying it up. Felt like Dark Magician Girl was able to call out SQ a lot more. Noticed some similar patterns in terms of the neutral that SQ was kind of maneuvering, and of course those pokes in order to get in a way to continue her momentum. When Dark Magician Girl was recognizing those few things, you really saw that pay off in that last round, being able to constantly hit out Elphelt as she was trying to approach over and over and over.
But new game, new round, new me here. Full spells to work with if you're Dark Magician Girl. Full health bar to work with if you're SQ, but already getting herself pushed all the way to this corner here. They're blocking there out on that Pogo mix option here. Clips out the far slash there from SQ, trying to be able to fight back. There's another super once again. Has to keep herself locked in here. And just that extra little spell activation, enough to kind of keep you boxed in enough to do it. Clips him out of the bomb flip here. Tried to 60 out on the cube, but did it a little too early. Enough, then the IBFD push a little bit of space. Here comes the super to push you through that wall, get the hard knockdown, but not gonna be quite enough to kill here. What's the question? Not a lot of mana to work with right now for Dark Magician Girl.
Just backdashing right now against SQ's neutral skips over here, trying to maybe push in, able to get that 5D and secure the kill onto SQ again. Now it's going to be Dark Magician Girl in advantage, and maybe try to hit a 6B there. Okay.
That's just the activation to clear out a couple of the cubes and push Dark through that corner. But 6B Dark Magician Girl's own to answer back to SQ's sequence. Good JS to clip her out of the sky here. You have 3 Scream items to work with again. Hope ready for some guard crush, buddy. Keep stuck in that corner here. Basic still not enough to be able to do it. Jumps out of that JD attempt. 6B's gonna whiff, but into that PRC clipping with the low. And there is that extended gunshot with the charge here. Good flip over on the bomb chocolate. There is the, oh, and a good dash cancel option there off of the close slash on block to block out that YRC. Gonna put her through the wall here. Get that hard knockdown. Not quite enough to crack the mana bar though.
Now we're going to be able to crack it and going to be able to confirm the kill. Now going 1 round apiece. It's 1 game, 1 round apiece on both sides. So whoever wins this is going to be getting the advantage in the set again, as Dark Magician Girl trying to find a safe way on getting some of these blocks in there, playing like Minecraft right now. Could be able to try to get another one in, but nice shots coming through from SQ.
The one right hit to be able to answer this back. I love that purposeful reset option then. Put another good chunk of damage here. Take a little more advantage of that mana-less Asuka. Still an incredibly squishy character without there, and less ways to keep that bar full. But this 5D RC has been doing so much work for DMG. Gonna push SQ through this wall. Positive gonna start reeling in here. Really have access to at least an option for YRC, or should you need it though? A good gun flip here, gonna put you right back to the wall. Give Positive back to SQ here, but here is that new season change. Keep an eye on her tension. It barely moves up while that meteor penalty is still active, but not even needed. A simple run-up throw to be able to do it, and SQ now up 2-1.
Beautiful work there coming out from SQ. Going to be able to take the advantage in the set now, especially that throw at the end, in order to secure a very good strike throw coming out at the end there. Dark Magician Girl now on their last legs. If they lose 1 more game, that is it. They are out. So they got to make sure that they're buckling down and making sure that this Asuka does not come into 7th.
But I would say between these 2 characters, I have to imagine Asuka probably has the weirdest like feel change, right? A lot of things with Elphelt are going to be fairly similar, I think, from the last patch. Outside some of the small changes that did come through, but there's that burst right now. I'm going to try to send out SQ a little part of pressure, but unfortunately get hits again. Pull way back into this corner right now. You're going to have to do your best to fight out, and that reversal into the grenade flip doing so much work right now for her. Blocked out on that Rekka attempt here again. Trying to find a way to get a bit of those cards and mana back then. And this charge shot from Elphelt definitely has so much functionality, it's looking like, even in this match alone.
Going to be popping super, going to be able to take a ton of damage, and of course the hard knockdown onto Dark Magician Girl, already flopping their gun, going to try to continue this pressure, just needs 1 more good connection, and on that whiff, gonna find it.
Yeah, good whip punch there. 6B trying to call up potentially maybe an early grenade flip then to reset that corner pressure sequence. The Farsh is going to be able to at least clap it out here. The block out there on the low, but unfortunately that's not going to get clipped then by the overhead falling Gravital bomb here again. You know, PG pushing the corner all the way again with that 6H knockdown here. A little bit of Asuka grappler time. Still waiting for that mana to come back right now. Almost back at that point here. Mass Shield back online. Here come those spells.
Still blocking, still getting hit out. Nice throw coming through from SQ once again in order to continue this momentum. 2K2D into the super confirm. Going to be confirming another wall break in their favor. And of course, that sweet, sweet hard knockdown. And already flopping that gun, trying to continue this pressure. But Dark Magician Girl is just going to be able to block them out and try to get a burst.
Shots coming through. Oh, but there is the rock low. Good block on the 5D this time. The 5D was doing so much work for Dark Magician Girl in her sets so far. Watch your toes here. We feel the chance to potentially do it here. There's a good FD to keep this Elphelt for a little bit too far away from actually getting any real mix off of that stick option here. The Charger actually going to fight through the cubes as well. priority definitely going in their favor, and the overhead coming through, gonna cancel into the RC. If we finish our food, it is gonna be enough to do it, and SQ is gonna take that 3-1 over Dark Magician Girl.
Backpack Brawl went a little long. Those grand finals went to game 9 and a lot of timeouts. That is all you need to know. And Lasagna Slayer was talking about it like a war vet. But either way, already we're seeing totsubunger just running it down here. Insert going absolutely insane. Going to be finding another dolphin, trying to find another poke. But Lasagna Slayer still trying to keep him out. But this overhead dolphin is just proving too much.
Getting a lot of value so far in this first round. Tries to change out, get him a bit of a meaty 5K, gonna clip out by the Orca. Wire to get a little bit of space here from the Mei right now, but these wall of pool balls are so hard to navigate around. Even a character as mobile as Mei can struggle, but just found the perfect gap to hop through off the back of the Dolphin, sealing out that first round.
It on the low, and Insert is going to be continuing this pressure, trying to find that 5P again. Nice counter hit, but still fighting a really solid counter on the side of Insert into the back throw, trying to get him to the other side with a 2K 2D, but Lasagna Slayer going to be able to run in and get reversed.
Oh no, and tries to deflect with a whole little bit of space for their time, but scaling was not working in the favor of that route here. Good 6P stops out that the up Dolphin option here from Insert. Not able to connect with the far slash so far. The zoning is coming out right now. Pool balls are at the ready, but another Dolphin cancel into that. JH is going to at least put game 1 on the board for Insert.
Yeah. Insert already going to be catching a dub, and very quick too. You saw in that first round using so many air Mr. Dolphins in order to close the distance, and using Mr. Dolphin cancels in that second round, just carrying really strong momentum to get right into Lasagna Slayer's face and just hit them with as many low normals as possible in order to get through. Is really solid usage coming out there of the whole kit, and it looks like it is finally time. Lasagna Slayer has had enough and is going to be switching back over to the Goldlewis.
The tried and true comes out when your last line of defense needs you. You bring out the Secretary of Defense here, but far slash off to a good start here for Insert. Enough to get the command grab as well. She'll hit this corner here, keeps it entirely burst safe for that sequence as well. Great stuff to Insert. Already putting Lasagna through this wall. An IB attempt to try to get a bit of space as well, but not going to be able to do a whole lot then. Putting it through the wall, get that positive bonus rain in eventually. Oh, actually still willing to send out the burst as well. You know, in fairness, this is Goldlewis. One good hit can be enough to equalize so many situations here. But great fishing with this far slash right now by Insert. Gets the thing figured out. Gets a perfect to boot as well, and round 1 goes their way.
Immediate Mr. Dolphin for a counter hit. Knew that Lasagna Slayer was going to press. Going to be a little bit of a trade as Lasagna Slayer is finally finding their momentum. A little bit of a gold burst coming out there for Insert. Going to be trying to find the reversal super. Gets blocked though, and it's going to be a really strong punish coming through from Lasagna Slayer. Going to be able to take you to the wall. Not spending tension for the hard knockdown. Instead, going to have to force themselves in on this next stage. But either way, that back throw and that jump it proved to be too oppressive, and we're going to be going right back to where we started.
Here, BRC back then tries to send out the super as well. Thinking maybe it was going to press immediately after. We're going to do it. I wonder what that 2H potentially action was supposed to be, if that was intentional or not, but good job answering back the round. A very quick round in that as well. Oh, look at Dolphin cancel to the JK actually going to clip here. After that jump in here. As I said, pushed in this corner here with the drone, forcing a little bit of the space. Good backdashing, not wanting to interact with that option.
Still so much pressure coming out. Nice 2K2D coming through from Insert. Going to be finding another one to force out the burst from Lasagna Slayer as the drone is just trying to stalk Insert down. Insert going to be finding a poke, going to be slamming the hammer down, and going to be finding this wall break and going to be getting a whole lot of damage from it and some tension to boot too.
Absolutely, but these far slash just absolutely fishing with these options here. Oh, actually not able to quite connect that 5K into the 5D. A little bit of a fast BRC option out of that corner, potentially with a hitbox as well, but do a little bit of a fuzz jumping here by Lasagna, trying to find their way out to get that jump. Need to come overhead. Good block on the overhead from the 2-8-4. The far slash anti-air actually gets a full combo for May, and another game on the board for Insert, now sitting up 2-0 so far. And we'll have to see if Lasagna wants to stick on the Goldlewis. I imagine so, a little bit more comfortable in the widespread of characters that are out there in Strive. But, you know, we are playing a new version right now. Things are going to feel a little bit different. Functionality, comfortability of what the options do. Maybe the frame data has changed on some of these interactions as well. So definitely can go still either way. We are pretty close here for potentially Insert taking this 3-0. But we know Lasagna Slayer was in winner's side for a reason. Definitely an incredibly strong player, almost level 10,000 Goldlewis players, by the way. So definitely putting the games in prior to this patch as well.
Definitely putting the grind on Goldlewis. They know this character inside and out, but right now in this set, they're going to have to prove it. Trying to find some momentum, trying to find those guard crushes with Behemoth Typhoon, going to be finding a ground throw and just trying to dash their way in, but still going to have to play it safe because Insert is waiting to rush it down. Nice little guard crush and just 5Ps out the drone.
Best match out here again. There's that charge putting you through the wall. Good chunk of damage, even on characters tanky as Goldlewis. So here, all the low clipping us off here. ID attempts as well again. Blocks out on that overhead. That's a bit of a dash throw then, but a good jump option into the back throw. Going to put Insert in this corner. Who's about to be in. Now check another mix after there. The YRC, one of the changes they made to guard crush, being able to YRC it. Despite me turning off your other defensive options here. The burst is ready, sending out the laser, burn it down. Gonna push Insert all the way at least to this corner, and answering back with a burst of their own.
Dashing again, literally just stopping themselves at every moment, trying to find the swing, trying to find it again. But right now, Lasagna Slayer is playing so cautious, trying to make sure that you not overextend and cost them their life. But that 5D is going to be that poke, and especially that momentum they have from a little micro dash there, gonna be able to secure that round. And now we are on set point for Insert.
God, I thought they were going to take him all the way through the wall from a simple 5P anti-air. I'm like, wait, but red wall stuff's gone. It's not supposed to be possible anymore, but some characters still showing you that they got that dog in them here. But good answer there with the Orca. Good chunk of damage here on Goldlewis. Not a lot of life to work with as well. Send one more RPS on the burn down. Try to chase into the sky with the JD. Gonna get clipped for their troubles. Good chunk of damage here. Same side, blocks out on the overhead. YRC, I think it's after. When will the burst come out? There it is. Can't drop drone quite yet. It would not make it even to the point where Insert was standing. Up in this corner. Then with the 3K, Ampy jump into the throw. This is now the chance here for Lasagna to stay in this set here.
Oh, getting the hit, and another Behemoth Typhoon going to be securing that kill. Low HP and a dream coming out there from Lasagna Slayer and still being able to clutch it up, but the hammer is still being brought down from Insert as they're rushing through 2K2D into Mr. Dolphin. Not going to be finding it, but still have to keep the pressure up, have to make sure that Lasagna Slayer knows who you are and what you're trying to do tonight. Another 2K2D, but again, they just keep getting blocked. We need to find another option right now against Lasagna Slayer as we're playing a very cautious, oppressive game right now.
That they're not trying to overcommit or kind of oopsie yourself into Goldlewis, such a character that's sort of robbing you out, and the dash up 5D into the RC, not able to block out on that burst, get a little bit of space here. Oh my god, just slid under that FBRC Behemoth again, but the air taunt was not enough to make a difference. Insert is gonna take an incredibly close 3-0 over Lasagna Slayer. Duking it out for the online space. A set you could see at a major or heck right up before that top 8. Getting right into it there. 2K already getting themselves started. And the burst actually baited out on the jump in attempt here for Red. And this is not one you want to be seeing if you are a fan of Classic Bud.
Yeah, no, this is such an amazing start, fighting that 2K2 into the RRC. That was a perfect, dominating match coming out there from RedIAmNot to start us off. It really did. And immediately finding 2K into Behemoth Typhoon and still securing so much pressure in the corner once again. And I imagine if we get one more poke, that's going to be the wall again.
Oh my god, I was so afraid to see how much damage that would do. That burst coming back in the absolute nick of time here to keep Class in this game still, but spooky spot to be in. Oh, not quite close enough. Not the Giovanna throw range working against you there. Red taking game 1 with a perfect as well, but Class here, I'm sure, take a few moments here, kind of reset themselves, get just our first game out of the way, right? You kind of oopsied, you ran into a few things here, which is pretty standard for fighting Goldlewis there. That 2K doing so much work for Red tonight. Definitely a scary button to be interacting with in the neutral approaches here, but let's see how Class can adjust here going into game 2.
Very, very rough having a double perfect happening on you in that first game, but at least we're already able to get a nice 1-2 against RedIAmNot before they get that 2K in there. Gonna find the throw off of dashing off of the burst and gonna be able to continue this momentum. Still though, this 2K is proving to be a little too much from Goldlewis.
Ooh, catching up that back dash with another behemoth here. Great routing so far by Reg. Put a good chunk of damage in Class. Show away to the corner here. We'll block out on the overhead, but another overhead coming through here again. Not quite enough to kill. The wall of 2K never seems ending right now. Look at this button. You can just tell they're happy to use it right now.
Yeah, RedIAmNot just keeps hitting that over and over and finding with that air connection to take out Classified.
Like the same level of clarity we're seeing Johto doing the multiple flips over and over again. We're just got a wall of 2K going on right now. Definitely very spooky stuff to be interacting with. 5K at least keeps themselves in this corner. Good 5H starters, what you want to see. You want Class to answer back here. Push it through the wall with that super. Good chunk of damage here. A little bit of positive working in your favor. Simply run up into that close slash here again. Good trade combo, but the super is definitely going to connect. Put a good chunk of damage into Giovanna then, but not a lot of health to work with. So if Class can get themselves out of the situation here. Ooh, 5H actually whiffs, so not going to actually have to worry about the 6P connecting and stopping that mid from coming through. And a simple 5D, even without the meter behind it, seals out that round, bringing us to a round 3.
All right, there we go. Classified finally feeling that momentum and that oppression. They're now able to find another connection into drill kick. Going to be finding that far slash and going to be continuing this momentum, trying to find a low poke, but Behemoth Typhoon is going to be spacing them out a little bit before they find the flip and bait out the burst.
Oh my gosh, there's that new Geo 623S goes to the dang moon. How much high hitting it seems to be now. Great route as well. Puts it through the wall. Still has extra 50 to work with again. Blocks it on the overhead. It keeps it a fuzzy as well. So not only do you have to guess right, but then you have to guess high, low after. Good stuff to Classify. Not letting that first game get the better of them with those 2 perfects. And a great answer back. We got a game apiece, NM.
Ooh. Yes, we do. A game apiece, showing why Classified is also here in our winners finals. Seeing that double perfect happening before and being like, all right, now it's time to roll up my sleeves, and it's now time to really run it in.
Ooh! IB's the 2K, still has to end up taking the Behemoth after. Good backdash, not take the other one there off of that overhead. Tries to do a little bit of 2D spacing then, but runs into the far slash, further troubles. Welcome coming out here, another burst to be answered back. Absolutely dropping the drone, holds a little bit of that space. Even if it doesn't connect, at least it keeps Classified pushed in this corner. Blocks out on the low, another overhead blocked out here again. Makes it over, despite getting guard crush from the air. You recover being able to jump before it actually finishes, bringing you back to the ground here again. Oh, but Tear Cancel was ready that time. It's been spend the full 100 to do it, but the option is still there.
There we go. Going to be finding the mix from behind 2. Already going to be able to take that first game. It feels like RedIAmNot is really trying to be a lot more impressive this time around, but really nice anti-air coming through from Classified. Still, again, that 2K comes through and clutches up for RedIAmNot and finds it again on the 2K.
It didn't work that time there. 5K actually at least keeping over it for a good block on that side attempt here. Ooh, 5H actually gonna get jumped over with that J8, push through the wall with the super hard knockdown. Gonna be a little bit spooky. Gonna run up here. Approaching once again, 2K here, seeing if it can cover all of our options at this point. Oh, no with punish attempt here. The recovery a little too quick option here. Keeps the same side this time. Messes up on the BRC potential option then. FRC on the PRC to be able to reset, let Red be able to answer back, but Drill going to be able to connect here. The approaching 2S going to come through, try to send it out with the burst, and you are punished for your greed, and it lets Classified take you to a round 3, and now you have no burst to work with, but no burst for either side, NM.
Oh, no, we don't have that burst right now, and still the pressure coming out so strong from RedIAmNot. Maybe trying to find an anti-air right now. Backdash on the Behemoth Typhoon, going to be setting up perfectly for Classified to continue this momentum.
Really here, ID. Oh, I love that option. Jade to keep the sequence going then. Tries to keep the combo to still connect. Tries to IB the 214K, but it still works out in the favor for Class. Class putting Red through the wall here. 2P can be able to check with the counter hit. A little bit of a delayed stagger. Gonna clip out counter hit and put another game in Classified's portfolio here. 2-1 right now in this winner's final set. Remember, whoever wins this one will be sitting pretty in that winner's grand side. Loser will be sitting in their loser's finals, waiting for their opponent to climb through the rest of that bracket here again. But Red, definitely no slouch when it comes to digging deep and figuring out what they have to do to answer back for their sets. So here we go. Game 4 coming up right now, and a 5P to wall out to start it. But there is that 2K. It never seems ending at this point. What did they feed this man?
Not sure what they fed RedIAmNot, but still that 2K just keeps coming out, and now feels like Classified is knowledgeable on these antics, going to be finding that wall break there, going to be getting some positive tangent coming up, and going to be able to find that drill kick and go all the way to the corner once again.
Oh my gosh, the 2D anti are going crazy right now. There is that BRC, multiple overheads being blocked out here. Red's seen the sequence a few times at this point, I imagine. Despite being a little bit different, you know, no longer have people have access to that backdash BRC. So we're going to see a lot of these moments coming out. I don't think we're going to see the burst being spent. This potentially could be the last burst you might see for this set. But here we go. Classified now on set point. One more round would help them move forward here. But Red has something to say. Overhead counter hit to get herself started here. A little bit of strike throw coming in. Same side JH again. Gets backdash here off that Behemoth. But good super jump out here by Clash to get out of that problem.
Nice, finds that 2K once again. Gonna be able to find that air connection to BRC confirm. Pop the super. Gonna be keeping RedIAmNot alive in this. Going to a round 3 set point versus survival point right now. And RedIAmNot already getting thrown by Classified and getting crossed up. Classified really hitting their stride right now and continues this pressure.
What's up by Red being so good with these IBs right now? Such an important thing to be able to do against Geo in her pressure. But getting thrown in this corner here. Still full burst to work with here for Red. These players are trying to overcreate middle too much right now. So worried about making sure your burst at least gets some value if you have to spend that resource then. Button ends up whipping them. The IB is so ready. Double Behemoth coming through. Security cancel gauge. The fuzzy overhead coming out here. Class the first to rip out that burst. Dash into the throw. One more hit could potentially do it. We get a chance to spend that burst at this point. Oh, but the big overhead damage gonna come through. Not gonna be enough to kill. So scary if you're Classified.
Nice, gonna be slamming you right back down. Gonna be finding another hit on you, and there we go. Gonna be taking us to a game 5.
So close. And I'm not even saying that Class went for any like purposeful or like awkward burst page. Just a lot of the pressure was essentially looking for when, you know, Red either maybe want to spin it on a deflect shield, gold burst option even as well. So like essentially never really got the opportunity to even have to interact with that burst. And maybe that sequence kind of let Red be a little bit more greedy with how they would choose that option. But like you said, answering back, we're getting a game 5 in our winners finals. Definitely what we want to be seeing of players of this caliber here. But a fresh round means full meter. Reset on those resources again, but dropping out that drone after that burst immediately. A tale as old time for Goldlewis.
Now he's going to be flipping to the other side, continuing this pressure against RedIAmNot right now, finding the throw, finding the low, and finding the BRC. YRC, though, coming out from RedIAmNot, but just gets kicked in the chest right after they were trying to do that drone, and just going to get taken out. And once again, it is set point for Classified.
Not only set point, but if we can at least get the knockdown here, you're going to force, Red to have to essentially, do a little bit more guessing with no burst behind it. And a great starter so far here. Oh, bit of a awkward combo then, but a great IED attempt then. Sticks it with that 5K. That's going to keep that 50 tension going through the wall. 5H connects the startup here. If we can at least finish the route, it should be a dead Goldlewis. It absolutely is. Classified going to take it 3-2 against RedIAmNot, and is now in winner's side grand. Into it.
Duel 1.
Right. Seeing how our neutral game is going to be starting us off. Immediate Mr. Dolphin, of course, from Insert. Going to be able to find the connection and already force the burst out of SQ. Find the counter hit. This is already coming up so well for Insert. Finding the strike throw there, putting you so hard into the corner for a nice wall break. Not spending our attention, though.
Yeah, definitely going to work out well there. Oh, actually ended up air throwing it too. Unironically, you just let her fall and press that clove slash, and a big counter hit counts be ahead. But you know what? Reliability always better than whiffing of concern. But a good 6B here from SQ. But immediate goal burst from Insert, not trying to have to take any of that Elphelt casino pressure here. Oh, but that 5D hits from so far away. It can be so kind of odd to see how far these people are out that overhead coming through. The positive bonus now working through for Insert again. SQ can at least push them all the way to this corner. Answers back with the Orca, sending SQ back to full screen. A goal burst of her own. So many folks having such an easier time hitting goal burst with that change to the input system there when you do it on Wake Up, but not gonna bite quite on any of these empty jump attempts after the grenade. Gonna push Insert through this wall, get positive of their own. Gonna spend it on the super to at least get the hard knockdown then. Let's see what kind of mix we're gonna be dealing with.
Immediately on Wake Up, trying to play it safe. YRC going to be coming through for Insert, but just getting air grabbed by SQ there, trying to continue that. Finds the RRC, waiting to see. Yep, burst going to be coming out for Insert, trying to secure this game. Going to be whiffing the throw though, and that does mean we have a round 3 on our hands.
Yeah, Insert willing to spend that burst. I don't want to say call it greedy. You think you can get the hit, right? Elphelt being kind of a low health character, not a lot to work with, but now you're going through here. SQ immediately being able to answer back with a burst despite Insert guessing right, pushing them back into that corner. We're gonna fight again, but these Dolphin cancels are being air thrown so well by SQ so far here. But get ready to guess then. Will it be another overhead option too? Tries to fuzzy 5P on the way out, gets clipped for their troubles, and Insert going through the wall. Not a lot of help to work with. SQ just needs one good hit to seal out this game. Insert is back here. Blow will come out here again, enough to actually route a good choice. Then that air hit can be a little bit hard to pick up depending on the spacing. And great stuff to SQ taking that game.
A very strong start coming out for SQ. Literally Insert right there saying, I got gapped. But even if you get gapped, you got to get back up again. Get back in that cabinet and try to secure your way into the losers finals.
Absolutely, and your reward is getting to fight Goldlewis Dickinson. So, who really is the victor, depending on the winner or loser side here. But we know all these players are trying to do their best, make it as far as they can. Remember, y'all, we are on a brand new version of the game. So all these players trying to kind of put themselves out as early front runners, understanding what they need to do, or at least kind of experience some of these more like niche situations that'll only happen when you have players of this caliber. And oh my God, that charge shot got hit from that high up then. May Far Slash is a crazy
He is. Nice BRC coming through. Going to be able to keep this momentum up for Insert. Going to be finding the wall break. Seeing what we're going to be doing on this little reset here. Backing up from that 2P. Trying to finds a throw into RRC and finds the round.
Good stuff to Insert here. Answering back then. And like I said, Insert, incredibly strong competitor in their own right. So, you know, players of this caliber usually aren't taken too much to heart when the first game does not go their way. So, what's going to be here. The Dolphin Hops are going absolutely crazy right now. These OTGs off the sequence here again. Deflection have to get a little bit of space. And May is right back in front of you here. And now you have no access to a burst should you get the right hit. Are you going to come through here? Up Dolphin going to chase that fuzzy jump as well. I think if we can at least finish the food, not quite able to do it, but the Dolphin can do it. And actually the Fuzzy are going to catch him out, keep SQ in this game at least. But the whiff throw gonna get punished by that Dolphin, and Insert with a really quick answer back, making it 1 game apiece.
Right, gonna be tying things up 1-1. This top 4 getting very sweaty when it comes to how these players are playing. We saw a lot of Insert trying to run in, trying to find that pressure, trying to find some really sick high-low mix, but every single time it was either SQ being able to find a reversal or having to continue to block or getting found out. It really was always one of those 3 avenues.
Absolutely, but there is the Dolphin once again. The knockdown option here. 2K getting it clipped once again. Dolphin into that overhead kiss here, push it through the wall, cracking the glass. Here comes some positive. Already has 50 to still work with here, Insert. But gonna have to burst out of that Elphelt sequence. And I kind of like that still had positive rolling as well, so able to get a good chunk of their burst meter back by having to spend it. And that delayed extra air dash then just to keep SQ guessing when they're gonna end up landing, and a bit of a throw. You know, it's so funny to see that because I'm so used to that being essentially the option to cover if you whiff throw. But of course, that new change right now, if you whiff throw, you can no longer PRC in this version.
Okay, nice, found a JP in off that momentum, gonna be able to continue this combo, gonna be continuing it into the wall break, saving their tension for when they truly need it, finding that slide and confirming into that RRC, putting SQ onto the wall and into death, and there we go, gonna be a second game for Insert.
Yeah, and I like saving that meter from that wall break for that 3K. You know, May 3K did take a bit of a damage nerf when it came to, you know, coming into the season. Essentially, almost all low profiling moves got a bit of a scaling reduction, but more, you know, Elphelt, not necessarily, you know, not necessarily like a high, you know, effective health character. So definitely, you know, felt the brunt of that. They're more than enough to kill here, and Insert one more game will give them an option to face Red here in that losers finals. Let's see if SQ can dig deep with this Elphelt and take us at least to a game 5 here. So far, the burst ready to be spent by Insert just to keep SQ stuck in this corner here. A really deep throw gonna get jumped out here so far, and now Insert finding themselves stuck in this corner. A 6P to keep themselves stuck in here, forget it, but actually gets through, and the back hit is gonna push her through the glass and gets a hard knockdown on top of it too.
Talk about escalating and de-escalating for Insert. Saw that whiff, but still able to get it in the end. Must have been a really nice sigh of relief. Getting that back throw too, finding another hit in, continuing this mix against SQ. SQ though, just jumps out of the corner, trying to maybe keep Insert in there, but doing so very cautiously and actually just backing, letting themselves find it. And the burst, gonna get baited out, put the burst in the bag.
That was so good. That was Insert absolutely stared at that tension gauge from SQ and just looking to see there, knowing that they could potentially cancel that option out. So dang good here. Insert gonna get put through the wall right now though. And get that hard knockdown then. SQ not gonna have really any other tension to work with them, but positive at least gonna start filling up that burst meter as well. Stagger throw here. Another thing, throw techs essentially get a little bit more space between the two when that ends up breaking. Good jump up there to throw. SQ on that sequence then, but May close slash still anti-airing with the best of them. To the wall with the Orca, freeing Willie and almost freeing your health bar from existence. But a late deflection is going to keep Insert off. The air throw going to come through again. And just like that, the air throw into the RC is going to let Insert move on and take it 3-1 over SQ. 0.0 bracket of the new season. We have Insert on the May versus RedIAmNot on the Goldlewis.
Seeing how we're already feeling coming out here. Going to be hitting a Behemoth Typhoon, trying to run with it, blocking the Mr. Dolphin, and finding our confirm off of 2K. Still so many guard crushes trying to come out, and Insert finally going to be getting hit as RedIAmNot just going to be shoulder charging it down and popping off the super for the wall.
Absolutely, and you are gone from this plane of existence. Slash indeed, first round going Red's way, and it went by so quickly. Felt a little more akin to like the Guilty Gear feeling of old. Keeps the same side with that jump heavy, and there is that Goldlewis 2K. I don't know what kind of, you know, running this man has been doing in between seasons right now, but that leg is built different right now.
That leg just keeps extending as far as the sun is to the moon, being able to find another Behemoth Typhoon and a shoulder, ending off in a perfect. I think RedIAmNot right now holds the record tonight for most perfects in the top 8, as they're going to be able to take the first game on the board.
Yeah. But we know, like, you know, if it's a version of old, we obviously know Insert could definitely has it in them to figure it out. But, you know, so much of just like, you have these ideas when it's like, okay, they have done insert thing here, no pun intended. You know, I can respond with this, because folks are essentially like trying to find, okay, what am I allowed to push? When is their turn truly over? And it just, you know, you're kind of second guessing yourself some of these times here. But once again, we are seeing this 2K doing the whole world here for Red. Oh my gosh, that super deep, low hitting Behemoth actually gets it's actually anti-air 5H as well. Drone keeps the sequence going, but no full combo here. Was that actually a back side switch? JH as well. He just got the corner as well. Oh my gosh, Red is absolutely looking like a behemoth here tonight. Good stuff. Getting another round on the board for themselves here. Getting that knockdown again. Another same side option. There's the overhead this time. Get that knockdown. The flex shield stops that forward momentum. But this 2K has been in everyone's worst nightmare so far.
Just slamming the hammer down over and over, trying to get the throw in, continuing to block, trying to find that 2K once again, trying to keep it safe. Nice blocks against all those JPs, finding another connection into the RRC, and it's now going to be 2-0. RedIAmNot looking extremely dominant in this set right now.
Yeah, again, I feel like Red really wants that rematch against Classified, so very, very excited to see potentially if that does end up happening. Definitely not counting out Insert yet. Such a strong May player, and definitely have been able to topple players of this caliber before. You know, I would put Insert essentially in that same category. So let's see here as we get into our third game, if Insert can kind of look a little bit inward and figure out what they need to do to work around this character. Goldlewis, definitely scary for a lot of reasons, but if you would have started with his 2K being the reason why you're struggling, definitely wasn't the case so often. I feel like 2P was complained about a lot more in previous versions here, but the stuff so far at least going to get Red pushed to this corner right now. Had to spend the burst field to do so. Oh, and actually gets the 6K actually going to get an air hit. It's a bit of a weird juggle combo as well. Becomes positive coming through right now for Insert then, but it'll allow Red to answer back. Bit of a tray, but the 2P gonna stop the Dolphin on the way in again. But the large man, Yo Johnson, coming through, pushing it all the way back to this corner, right into that meaty drone again. Wisely, the burst to stop it again, but we were dash blocking and we were ready. Red can do no wrong, it feels like here on these choices, and finds himself on set point.
My goodness, this Goldlewis is insane. And again, that 2K is feeding this whole village, being able to find another connection there. Nice backdash on Insert, but it's just not enough. The drone is trying to chase you down. There was a Goldlewis right in front of you with a coffin. You're able to get the burst. You're able to find a connection. 2K 2D. Try to get the beach ball in there. Try to set up something, but everything's going to get blocked right now by RedIAmNot. They're trying to play it so safe, but the throw going to be coming through. Trying to find OTG. Finding another hit. We have 2 bars of tension for Insert right now. They have the PRC set up. They find another hit on RedIAmNot. They're trying to get a 2K. They whip on it. A connection for RedIAmNot. PRC. YRC. How much can we just get off of this? And we're able to get the kill.
What a back and forth sequence. Insert doing their best to keep themselves in this set right now. This is a great spot to be in right now. If you are insert red stuck in this corner, no access to burst yet. 6P anti on the other side, still able to pick it up after again. And that 5D RC going so much work here, putting red through this wall. About 60% off the health bar so far. Good block on the 3K. Gonna get punished then. Stays out a little bit by the FD. The 5H gonna counter hit red for their troubles. Sends out immediate into the burst, into the laser. Bring it all the way in here. Good job on those air IBs. A little bit extra meter than not as plus on that way down. But there is that beach ball. One more mix would be enough to do it. Dash 5Ps here. Tried to 6P their sequence out, but the 2S from insert says, hold the phone. I'm not quite ready for you to move on yet. I'm keeping you in here, and I'm bringing you to a game 4.
Right. Insert going to be keeping themselves alive for just a little bit longer, trying to secure that reverse sweep right now. It seems that RedIAmNot going to have to figure out an answer to that oppression that Insert was finally able to unlock in this set. Has a lot of tools for that, especially that huge coffin and a lot of those big buttons that coffin has, especially that Behemoth Typhoon. As long as we can get a lot of run-in punishes and break checks against Insert, I imagine we can clutch up to take the set.
To our game 4 right now. Insert absolutely putting in a ton of work to try to be able to keep themselves in it, but already had to spend the burst out then. Oh, and getting our toes clipped then by that Behemoth low, but the overhead coming through, getting a full combo because of the drone to keep it going. No security gauge to really work with then, but the 2K says hold the phone. Don't get too ahead of yourself right now. I am still in this. I am the one who wants to move forward. I want my run back against Classified right now. The Flex Shield here at least stops the Goldlewis pressure from any further. But once again, we have now spent the last probably bit of our burst meter, our last defensive potential option, but a good option to crash out here by Insert, pushing out red to this corner. A super jump out here with the JH then. Keeps her sequence going. It's not going to be enough to kill, but a good chunk of damage coming through, going through the wall.
One last interaction right now for Insert. Has to play with their lives. One more and they're done. And with that jumping into 2K, very poetic finding 2K to be the killing blow. But it will be RedIAmNot clutching it up and going to be moving back up to fight against Classified in our grand finals.
We are at grand finals of the first 2.0 Geekly here. This is Geekly 2.0 Strive. We're getting right into it then. RedIAmNot on that Goldlewis here from loser's side, and Classified on the Giovanna sitting in winners.
Right, already starting us off. We're trying to see Classified running it down, trying to find that 5K, still putting on the momentum. Meanwhile, again, that 2K keeps trying to pay the bills, but right now we're missing the rent, and because of that, super going to be popped here by Classified to secure that hard knockdown on wall break. And now RedIAmNot, you're gonna have to figure out how to get out of it, but you try to hit an attack, and Classified gonna be calling you out for it, gonna be finding another wall break, and we have a bar of tension off the bat, off of those step dashes to try to get something else, you know, try to do a BRC right here. We need one more really strong connection.
A lot of help with the work with red, so one stray hit could be enough to potentially do it. One single drill is all we get then. I love keeping the stuff safe then with that RC as well. JH here again, good block on the overhead by Classified. Push this corner though, 50 meter to work with here for red. Not gonna get chance suspended so far. Practice out of the overhead Behemoth. We'll play yourself full burst then, but the 2P anti-bear is gonna stop Class on their approach attempt again. No, neither player spending out that burst there in that first round.
Right, trying to set up with the drone, make their way in with the Behemoth Typhoon. RedIAmNot maybe trying to play a little bit more patient, able to get a nice little 1-2 there, and able to catch the backdash, but still, Skyfish not going to be helping you against that 2D, as you're going to be carried to the corner, finding that bar slash, and going to be finding that hit.
So back to neutral here again. 5H not going to get punished so far. Land out that 2K cut approach. The 2K walls have come out right now. Even catching the backdash attempt immediately after. Going on the overhead, good block on that BRC, covering that overhead option here. Not sure if Class was looking for that BRC after, but Red's still stuck in this corner. Overhead to come through. Push back more of that close space here. Deflect shield can at least push him back at this point. So far, Flash just needs to get one good hit, potentially to do it. Not be able to pick up the full combo after. Just a simple hit here. Dash 5k, 6p, 214k. Clean up a little more attempt. Back to more of that neutral. 6p to keep you locked in that corner here. But I bet it's an ID attempt now punching that corner. No resources to really work with besides 50 meter. The YRC, despite being the delayed YRC, wasn't enough to keep Red's pressure from coming through and the first game going RedIAmNot's way.
Oh man, catching that YRC at the end there, being able to bait that out was such a good catch from RedIAmNot. Already making a statement in order to secure the bracket reset against Classified tonight. But of course, there's still so much to go, and Classified still gonna have to try to bunker down in order to secure the win here tonight at the Geekly. Seeing as we get into this first round how the neutral is gonna go, immediately the jump over the 2D, able to call out and force the burst out of Classified as we're just trying to poke a little bit with that 2K, at least threaten the distance against Classified, but still dashing in with that far slash. Going to be successful. Try to neutral shimmy a little bit, try to find that 2D, but of course RedIAmNot able to come through positive.
Absolutely, that IB doing so much work for Red here. As long as we can finish our food, likely will be a dead Classified. It is great routing here despite being in the mid screen. Enough to answer it, put Class on the back foot here. Speaking of back foot, that 2K clipping once again. Backdash getting caught again by another forward behemoth. Overhead coming through. No full combo option again off of the overhead without meter or the drone behind it. Class absolutely locked down in this corner. Oh, actually PRC to potentially keep the sequence going. Maybe it'll be a break of the super. 2K actually trades in the favor and a 6p to stop the drill kick from coming through. This has been all RedIAmNot. Maybe feeling more than warmed up after that set with insert from before here, but Red will have to win a second set if they are able to clear 3 for this first one here. So let's see, Class could potentially use this as a little bit of an extra learning round if they really want to here. Heck, maybe bring in a different character, but no, we're sticking with the tried and true, the Giovanna. That's what got us to the winner's side grands here in the first place. Let's get in this game 3.
I'm able to make it all the way up here, so let's try to continue that momentum right now. So trying to block a lot of what Classified is trying to do. Had a 2P for a second, going to be finding that 5K and forcing the burst out of RedIAmNot as they're trying to run in with their drone, trying to get some safe pressure. No confirm off that 2K, still trying to poke out and get it. God, how many 2Ks can we get from RedIAmNot tonight?
I really do hope someone is counting because the number has to be going crazy right now. There's the burst out of Classified so far. Both these players not wanting to overcommit too much then. JD can at least get Classified to this corner. Good run up into that throw. Oh, good block on the side switch as well here for Class. They were absolutely ready. Oh, I don't know if they were looking for that 6H option here again, but good counter hit off of the drill. They have a pretty good combo. Good block on the side switch option. Class showing that earlier here, blocking out on the overhead, double overhead block, but another meaty behemoth keeps you trapped in, and this is set point for Red for the reset here. Class still has that bonus life to work with then, and so far we just cannot quite find the sequence we are looking for. Red seems to be all over Class with all of his pressure.
Looking a little rough, but still able to find their way in. Classified is starting to take some damage off of RedIAmNot. Going to be taking us to the wall, maybe trying to bait out a burst. Burst not going to be happening. Going to be able to just dash up and confirm the wall break, saving our tension for now as we continue to block and try to play it patient, finding the 5P in order to answer here, baiting out the burst from RedIAmNot, and should be able to take the round there. Now going to set point versus survival point.
That burst bait was absolutely one of those game-winning ones. So really impressive stuff from Class here so far. Great routing as well. Let's look at that double Chavez cancel. A little bit extra meter build here. But the IB was so ready. Red's been so good with these IBs on the 214K. Definitely can keep Geos guessing on what they want to do after the option there. Oh, but the double overhead with the heavy coming through. Great routing here again. Not going to spend it on the super. Wouldn't have been enough to kill here. That neutral, try to chase forward with that BRC. 5K kind of is where it ends. And that 2D immediately burst into the burn it down. That jump up here, ready for the high-low after. Wire Seed not to take the mix here. The 5 doesn't connect, be able to combo after with a 2-4K. But the 6P does meet it, and there you go. Classified answering back in at least this first set here. Says no goose eggs, no zeros on the board for me for this set at least. And potentially can do it with a reverse sweep. But 2 more games would be necessary.
Still has to lock in on 2 more games. And against this oppressive pressure that we've had so far from RedIAmNot. So you're going to have to lock in for 2 more games. It's still your life on the line to make sure that a bracket reset does not happen in RedIAmNot's favor. And already that 5P going to be stopping your momentum, but at least you're going to be able to strike, dash, and then throw for a tick throw there, and going to be able to continue this momentum, catch with that 2K, and already breaking this wall.
Yo, shout out to the Geo buffs, by the way. I mean, Geo used to have that, so welcome to the return of the king and being able to pick up that sequence there. Last has Red pushed this corner already. Will Red be willing to spend this burst now? Already down about 55% health. Class definitely willing to spend it right now. Being up here, but unfortunately runs into that JH again. Catching out on the potential walk back with the JD, but crushing out that 2K with the Geo flip kick here. Fiercely keeps the sequence going. To push you all the way to this corner. And it's enough to kill it is. The Guts have absolutely been eviscerated by the Skyfish here. And RedIAmNot once again on reset point.
Finding that P though, and going to be able to anti-air. Gonna have to play patient right now. As nice, finding a 5K to counter hit and force the burst out of RedIAmNot. Just trying to super jump your way away, but Behemoth Typhoon is going to be able to catch your input. Nice burst though, coming out, maybe trying to play patient, trying to get that drill kick in, trying to get that 5K in, but still just trying to step dash and play a little bit patient. The far slash not going to be able to clutch up for you right now. It's just going to be a bit of a neutral game, but that 2P might just be the answer that RedIAmNot needed, going to continue this momentum into that wall break.
A little bit of life to work with that, and 50 as well behind. Class good dash into that throw. But the 2K answering all problems here, and RedIAmNot resetting Class. Both players now finding themselves on the loser side of the bracket. The next 3 wins will make you the first Geekly 2.0 Strive champion here, and our players getting right back into it. They are absolutely ready to get to the result of this bout here. And I have to say, Red looking a lot more controlled with Class betting on that first set here on that winner's final side. But here we go. We start off here again. That Jake can get clipped out in an immediate burst from Class. They're trying to deal with any of that.
All right, still trying to block right now, trying to play things safe, especially against Classify. Finds a 5K, just going to be dashing straight into a throw and already going to be popping the RC after the fact to continue the momentum. Going to be able to get the wall break onto RedIAmNot, trying to find another poke, but nice jump coming through from RedIAmNot in order to get out of the way of that pressure, find a Behemoth Typhoon into the drone, and just walk you into the corner.
Good deflect shield here. So a little bit of space between you and Red, but these IBs, I should say, on these 214Ks have been such a good thing to show what you can do against Geo to make them a little more about the pressure. Tries to slingshot their way out of that sequence, and it actually ends up working out in their favor here. Good recognition about the odd hit. Got another 5H to connect, but the Guts are working so well for the secretary here, and chip damage able to do it. Good stuff to Classify, getting that first round. Good stagger 5K there from Greg, and clip out Class's attempt to fight with that low here. IAD's over here again with the JH. 5H again keeps themselves locked in this corner, but a good fight out from Red so far. IAD's over with that JH, gonna put them through the wall here. Look at that damage despite the defense buff being active.
Finding that BRC, finding a JP in the middle of that, still finding that 2K, try to go into 2D, gonna get blocked. Behemoth Typhoon going to be catching, gonna go RRC in order to confirm and being able to tie the rounds up, making it a little bit scary to see who's gonna be able to clutch up here. As just jumping over for a cross up, forces the burst immediately.
Yeah, that simple 5H, regular hit, not a full large combo at that point, but at least puts Class where he wants to have Red stuck in this corner right now. Spot a little more naturally there. Catches out on that 6-2-3S here. Oh, it goes for the dash throw this time, but Red was ready, and this is definitely gonna hurt. Push it through. Actually does not choose to spend the meter. Wants to maybe match meter for meter with Class here. We're working with the 100-meter buff right now. Good routing again, trying to keep it as burst safe as possible. Red has no chance to fight out right now. Acting clip in, overhead beats blocked. 2K gonna stick with you on the way in. As long as we can finish the route, it's gonna be a dead Class, and RedIAmNot is gonna get the first game of the resetted grand finals.
Right, really nice start for RedIAmNot. Showed such dominance in our initial grand finals, so it makes sense that in this bracket reset they're continuing this oppressive momentum of this unstoppable train, having to fish out for those 2Ks, and of course these behemoth typhoons just constantly applying guard crush and continuing the pressure.
Red's looking like an absolute beast from that first part of winners finals right now, so they really figured out what they needed to be doing to keep Classified guessing. And a lot of it has come from that 2K, but it hasn't all been there too, right? A lot of it has been recognizing that once you kind of provide this problem, your opponent is looking so heavy for it, you can get away with so much more. The backdash shouldn't get clipped there again by maybe the delayed typhoon this time. Push it through the wall, big chunk of damage. Round one going Red's way.
Very strong for Red, continuing the pressure against Giovanna, trying to be more patient, going to be finding that JD, running up, trying to shoulder check into some behemoth typhoons, deflect coming out. Really nice work forcing the burst from RedIAmNot, trying to jump through, but that 2P being able to anti-air, going to secure the super wall break for hard knockdown. That was such a good reflect coming out there to perfectly go into the far slash dash up, and gonna be getting the throw too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this pressure is so good right now, and Class, one simple clip to be the end of at least this game here. A good BRC mix right now. Puts him to the wall here with that 5H, put in the super. Not gonna be enough to kill then. Positive moment's gonna be railing in, but not gonna at least have any access to any of the meter. And a simple whiff on the JD, it looked like. The ID JD attempt, then get that throw. Good answer. Red not quite ready for that empty falling option here. Both these players not wanting to be the one to get it, but good 6-2-3S kips them out of the sky, pushing Red all the way to that corner, but there's that burst then. When they go through the wall, sends out the drone. There's a little bit of space here. Back to more of that neutral middle of the screen here again. 5K fishes are going so crazy right now.
The JD gonna be able to connect, and the shoulder check too. Immediately RedIAmNot finding their pressure, applying that drone, BRC coming through to put you in the air a little bit, but it looks like Giovanna's still gonna get hit out by that 2K. Guard crush still being applied like crazy, and so much chip damage to boot too. It feels like Classified cannot find their way out, and baited out the deflect. Gonna be 2-0 now.
Oof. Red just looking on fire right now, and you're seeing Classified like having a lot of moments of finding what they need to put their game plan on again, but it feels like even once they get their hits, potentially get their knockdown again, if they ever have to return to neutral, navigating around this Goldlewis 2K, while it sometimes is a possibility, opens you up to other things that Red could then present and you have to deal with. So Red here, one more game will give them the tournament, and a gold burst to answer the aerial approach then. Let them know how you really feel, Class.
Still trying to apply the pressure, whiffing on that behemoth typhoon, no punishment. There we go, dashing in, finding the close slash, gonna continue the pressure, gonna be able to secure the wall break, not gonna be spending our attention just yet. We're gonna be saving that for a rainy day right now, maybe waiting, try to do 5P on the anti-air, not gonna find it, trying to backdash and trying to play safe right now, but RedIAmNot gonna be on your tail, finding another behemoth typhoon into the drone, and it's gonna be popping another super.
Going through the wall, 100 meter to work with at least, so potentially what you're looking for, you can answer back with a YRC sends out the aerial super then. This keeps the pace of fresh, but unfortunately that's all your meter and did not combine the hit you're looking for. Trying to get red to, unfortunately, there's enough to do with the 5H, but there it is, the first into the burn it down here. It's on the overhead here. One more hit would be enough to do it. I love that. Gets himself out of the corner with the flip kick here. Good use of that OTG into the 5D classified. Absolutely locking in when they needed to, taking red to the second round. But the beautiful thing is having that burst advantage, which means that even if you do get clipped, you have the option to get out of it there. Oh, but an unfortunate drop on the combo.
Well, having to block. Classified trying to find their way back in, finding that 5K again, trying to apply pressure with that close slash. Still though, has to block, has to defend, has to play it safe. Finding another hit through, going to be air dashing for the behind. Going to be a little bit of guard crush, going to be finding another Behemoth Typhoon, and now shoulder check your way in. Get the BRC, YRC coming right back into a BRC for Classified, trying to hit on that 2K. Not going to be finding it, but still the pressure is strong.
Good whip punish there on that 2K with the 2D as well. Classified incredibly good on this Giovanna here, but these 2Ks have just been stopping. The fuzzy option is there. Immediate fast cancels into the super, so there's no option to burst as well. And RedIAmNot on tournament point here, bringing us into round 3.
Such a good start with that JD confirm, rushing it down for a few 2Ps. Already going to be getting the wall break in the first 7 seconds. So strong of a push coming out here from RedIAmNot, continuing with a lot of Behemoth Typhoons, and now it feels like the one last chance. 2K trying to find a confirm, gonna be trying to pop the super. Is it gonna catch? It's gonna get blocked. It's such a good counter hit, forcing the burst off of RedIAmNot, but gonna be popping the laser from the sky, maybe trying to find that last hit that they need on Classified. Classified trying to play it safe, so much Fountless defense, trying to go up right now, trying to play patient, maybe trying to find that 2K and a nice moment's notice, but still the counter hit coming out from the 5K, applying so much pressure, and the throw, and continue to have the corner, and pops the super. But wait a minute, did you catch that? Well, of course, I gotta plug everything that I'm doing. You know, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Ninstar123 and over on my YouTube at Ninstar236. There has been a lot going on. I uploaded a video recently on my YouTube comparing Wolverine to Leia Whitebang, which has been doing pretty well. And I'd like to say I'm going to be doing kind of a similar video coming out next Tuesday, hopefully for Tokon. Going to be comparing Magic with Dormammu. Other than that, of course, you can catch me over on Untamed Gaming's channel if you like some Marvel for casting over there. And other than that, I know I'm going to be streaming a Slashback watch party over on Sunday for the top 8. But other than that, that's going to be it from me. But of course, where can the people find you, man?
Well, I'm Ganyan on every platform that's out there, other than the ones that I'm not allowed to. Then it's just a simple underscore after. But yeah, I'm a part of the Wisconsin FGC. Shout out to all of our wonderful people in our scene there. We had an incredibly awesome regional last weekend. We have another big regional coming up in the fall. So if you're curious about that, check out any of the Counter Hit FGC socials from the YouTube, the Twitter, Blue Sky, and all of that. I do a little bit of streaming as well when I'm able to then, but being a salary man, it can be a little tough to boot up after a long day on the grind. But yeah, I have to say, I am so excited for the future of Guilty Gear Strive, so excited for future Geeklies as well, and I cannot wait to see all of you at a future bracket coming up here. We'll see you next Friday. Until then, y'all, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep playing Guilty Gear.
Deuces.